Chapter 4540. Chapter 4540. It's so violent. Before and after, it was completely different. If the previous Longfei, with absolute power to suppress these ghosts, killed with the absolute power of the demon sword and the king's blade. Now, it is absolute crushing. Rolling at the level of life. Wherein there is no change in the air, the body is released from the body and it is easy to feel the pressure. Just like the heavens and the royalties, the soldiers are small. Just breath, you can let them bow down. Therefore, at this time, Longfei said a word, directly let the endless ghosts tremble. Just rely on you, dare to commit the following. I am here, who are you going to try? Longfei's body was shocked, and his hand was swaying, like a gentleman, arrogant. Booming. At this moment, the endless ghosts, completely uncontrollable shivering, there are many, directly cannot stand the breath of Longfei's breath, directly worship. Know you. You have a physical body, you are a stranger, but why do you have such a dark and evil atmosphere? I don't believe that this is impossible. This power will never exist. It is impossible to overtake our existence. Everyone is together and tears him apart. Under the invisible oppression, the endless ghosts began to roar. And Longfei, the expression on his face is more and more indifferent. Mom sells the batch, I want to learn to win and hook up, I can't think of a group that is not afraid of death. But it's just right, since you are not afraid of death, then Lousy will send you to hell. In the heart of Longfei's heart, immediately, in the eyes, an indescribable breath appeared. Disaster. Haze. Anger. The temper is extremely complicated, as if all the negative emotions in the world are united. For a time, even Longfei was shocked by his own breath. However, he himself knows that the emergence of this kind of atmosphere is completely related to the win. Who is the winning hook? That is the originator of the zombie generation. Zombies are the gods, and the gods are far from being there. It is only this point that can explain how this kind of breath is so horrible. And Longfei can imagine. Winning the hook in this journey of being abandoned by heaven and earth, how much unwillingness and resentment suffered in the heart. Therefore, if there is such a breath, it can be explained. And Longfei carries this kind of power, and it is reasonable to have the bonus of this power. On the other hand, this endless sorrowful roar snarls, rewinding, one after the other, overlapping. Suddenly attacked directly from the dragon above the void. Tooth-dancing claws. Endless anger. But Longfei, just faintly watching, motionless. Completely dismissive. The owner is careful. The white bone reminded in the white bone throne that it was extremely weak and the sound was weak and undetectable. If you haven't already had a long-term relationship with Longfei, you can't let Longfei feel it. Reassure, don't say that they are just ghosts, even if they were born before, Larotsu is not afraid. Longfei said in his heart. At this point, Longfei does not have an exact concept for the increase of his own bone properties. But with his own physical strength, Longfei has absolute confidence. In the beginning of the world, with the power of the flesh can sweep the king of heaven. Even in this Tongxian mainland, the physical strength alone, Longfei also has absolute confidence, hard just called the person. Now that power has doubled, it's not just 1 + 1 = 2. Because the repair is more late, the power has reached the limit of one person, there is no special opportunity, it is extremely difficult to improve 1 point. Want to double, impossible. It is also a dragonfly, because there is a system of this super plug. As for the creation of the second level, in the end, to what extent, Longfei also wants to know. At the moment, it is precisely an opportunity. The picture is revolving, and the endless horror is incomparable. Untiring empty air. Make the entire sky dark again. The endless horror roared, groaning, step by step. If you want to devour the entire void, you will be swallowed up. And at this time, the dragon flew. The whole person stepped out in one step and made a fist and directly rushed into the ghost. The figure of Longfei is like a dragon. At this moment, it is twisted and twisted. At the center of the endless ghost, it changes rapidly. The strength is evenly layered and erupted above the double fists. Rumble. Rumble. Endless ghosts, at this time is the generality of paper paste, no resistance, a punch, there are nearly tens of thousands of ghosts' annihilation. Ah, impossible, what is this power? This kind of flesh. His physical strength is strong, and he is bloody, so I can't get close. Monster, this is a monster. At this moment, the endless ghost is really fearful. Start to retire. At this time, the void was also torn by the ghost. One by one, I want to escape. But, impossible. Now want to go. Late. The dragon screamed and screamed out of the sword. However, the scorpion sword at the moment has completely changed from the previous one. Before it was the forest bones, but at the moment, with the influx of dragon flying body, the whole sword body also appeared two fangs, showing the bloodthirsty and killing light cut. A dragon flies out of the sword, killing the enemy, killing the breath of all beings, and whistling out from the long sword. Then, a huge phantom appeared on the empty box. At this moment, Longfei is also paralyzed. Win the shadow of the hook. System, what's going on? It is Longfei, and my heart is also very strange. He thought that refining the fangs of winning the hook, the power belongs to himself. I didn't expect it at all. At this time, a sword was thrown out, and even the fangs could emerge. It is even more able to find out the virtual shadow of winning the hook. Don't be too violent. Above the entire void, the endless ghosts are nowhere to be seen at this time. Even those who escaped into the cracks in the air were also won the shadow of the hook and grabbed it back. Then, one hand pinch. Then, the shadow of the windhook is even more crazy, and the endless ghosts are under the big eyes of the win-win shadow. Like Naruto, a slaughter is a village. Don't be too violent. The stronger the power, the more the strange colors in Longfei's eyes. I don't understand at all. I've already won the battle, and why is it happening today? System, what is going on here? Winning a hook is not already refining by me, but can also be turned into a skill? Put it outside. Oh, the power to win the hook has been thoroughly tempered by the players into the bones and flesh. The scorpion sword is also a white bone, and it can carry the power of winning the hook, so it can directly erupt this power to the extreme. The system responded. Longfei nodded. Understand that this is the point. Although he refining the power of winning the hook, he strengthened his own attributes. However, if you want to really break the power of winning, you need media. The scorpion sword is undoubtedly the best choice. Longfei does not care, anyway, it is his own strength. At this time, above the entire void, under a sword, win the virtual shadow directly suppressing hundreds of thousands of ghosts. Indiscriminate slaughter. It can be said that between a sword, it is directly violent. Boom. For a time, the sky returned to Qingming again. Endless ghosts also directly bottom. Chapter 45-41. Chapter 45-41. For a moment, the ghost is gone. There are no asterisk left, all of them are turned into ash powder fly ash, dissipated in the void. At this point, everyone's eyes are all fixed on Longfei. Shocked, feared, and surrendered. I am Cow, Master, do you want to be so violent? Bob. Jianma language is incoherent. For Longfei, this is blind trust. Now, Longfei has a sword that destroys the endless soul. It is also refreshing the inner worship of Longfei. In his cognition, even if he is going to come here, he can't do this. At this moment, what is the legend of the mountains and seas, and what is the magic of the world, are jokes. There is no comparability at all. I have been beaten by Longfei before, and I have no power to fight back. Now, even a few people are attracted by the existence of the latter. In front of Longfei is vulnerable. He is getting stronger again. Longfei sighed in the heart. But it is embarrassing and gratifying, if you find your own direction. At this time, Longfei has no more joy. A sword destroys the ghost. Although the violent storm is a mess. However, Longfei is not a little excited. Nothing broke. Moreover, it is not even counted as the number of tasks. This point makes Longfei an abnormal liver pain. System, why can't these be considered system tasks? Do you look down on the ghost? The ghost is not a copy of the soldier? Longfei asked. It is unusually angry to be indifferent to the system. Hey, the player's goal in the mission is a creature, not a dead spirit. The system responded coldly. System, this is a hole in the air. There is no such explanation in the original mission. Longfei said without expression. Although this result has been guessed. After all, the number of this ghost is too much. It is the soul of the dead that has accumulated in countless years on this road. If you can really break something, even a few hundred points of experience is enough for the soaring level to soar. Therefore, the system will never let such a bug. But now I hear the answer from the system, it is very uncomfortable. After all, this time it is so easy to destroy the ghost, but refining the power to win the hook. If there is no return, how can Longfei be willing? System, let's talk about it, don't need much, so many ghosts, just give dozens of experience Dan, that's it. Otherwise, one day, when Laozi enters the Supreme Plane and finds the system designer, he must be frank with this ***** game experience. Longfei tentatively said. In front of the system, he is always passive. Even if it is sometimes able to get stuck in the system, but in many cases, the system is unrelentingly rejected. However, this time there are no exceptions. The system is directly silent. It seems that the silence did not hear the words of Longfei. Sure enough, the pit cargo system. Longfei's heart is in the belly. I feel hopeless. There is no longer any expectation. Turning around will quit the system space. But at this moment, the sound of the system suddenly appeared. Hey, congratulations to the players to eliminate the ghosts of the celestial beings and reward the soul-raising system. The soul of the dead system. The system provides resources to forge a dead army for the player. And Longfei, the eyes are bright. Death Soul Enhancement System? System, is this a special reward? Longfei asked. A completely unexpected reward. Hey, the system has been successful. Hey, the endless bones are swallowed up. Hey, the bone core is in a state of slumber, for 3 months. The system ignored the dragonfly, a voice prompt. At the moment, the endless white bone disappears directly, and it is not seen out of thin air. 3 months. There should be no difference in time. And Longfei's gaze saw some accumulated tasks in the system's character block. Guarding the Yangshan world, guarding the Great Yangjie, and the 13th Emperor system that has not yet been perfected. The heart is helpless. But now is not the time to consider these. After all, there is still a wave of experience waiting for the harvest. At this time, Longfei also felt that the consciousness of the small bones has disappeared in the white bone throne. Needless to say, it was also included in the system of the undead. Between the vagueness, Longfei's heart gave birth to a few expectations. At this time, the entire first battlefield was completely mired in silence. 3 disciples and the Yaozu, after the robbery, looked at the dragon flying above the void. At this moment, they only want to live in their hearts. What is the chance of Tongxian Road? It does not care at all. The chance is to be strong, and you have to have a life to enjoy. One after another, all 3 people fell directly. Adult, forgive me. We are all small, and there is no difference in killing or killing. Yes, don't kill us, we will quit, and we will never be against you again. Countless rhythms appeared. Now they are still dare to fight against Longfei. Even the courage of direct vision has been completely annihilated by Longfei. The current Longfei is the master who controls their power to kill and kill. There is no second way to seek mercy. However, this kind of seeking for mercy is simply useless for Longfei. This is the experience. Longfei will let them go? Non-existent. One look, Longfei looks to build a horse. The Genma is a gloomy smile, and then once again incarnate the body, and immediately picks up the Thunder World, the massacre of destruction. Booming. In a flash, the entire battlefield became a thunder purgatory. Coupled with the ruthless stamping of the horse, in the entire space, the 3 disciples of all people were directly killed by a naked eye. Dragon's face is quiet, obviously it's already accepted, the rules of the game between the strong. The next moment, Dragon Flying also joined the battlefield and launched a crazy killing. A series of sounds of the system also appeared. Hey, Congratulations to the players to eliminate the total of 18,000 in Tongxian Road. Gained experience of 90 billion, the source value is 9 billion, and the violent value is 1 point. The system sounds down. Changed to experience Dan. Longfei said directly. At this time, as the system sounds down, his mission progress has begun to change, leaving 37,000 people. At this time, I did not wait for Longfei to think more, and the whole space began to tremble violently. As before, the space is shattered. Moreover, this time is more thorough. As if there is any external force in which to control, the void directly begins to collapse and crack, go. With a big bang, Longfei's power was rolled up, with Genma and Longfei directly rushing into the crack above the void. And at the moment when several people disappeared, the entire first battlefield was completely destroyed in the endless chaos and ceased to exist. And the three people of Longfei, in the moment after rushing into the crack, the three eyes are certain. This is a road that spreads to nothingness. In front of them, there is a boulder standing on the stone, and the stone is engraved, Tongxian. Chapter 45-42. Chapter 45-42. A road that spreads to endless nothingness. Endless, beyond the end, it is endless, just like there is another area. Master, what is going on? Is the battlefield we used to be a joke? Genma is unbelievable. It is Longfei, and at this time, my heart is extremely depressed. Whether it is from the Bone Kong Junjun mouth or the endless white bones, it has already been explained that the people of Tongxian mainland, from the beginning to the present, the left-going Tongxian road, to the first battlefield, is the end. Longfei also guessed that outside the first battlefield, it is very likely that it was the Tongxian ranch mentioned in his mission. It seems that the mistake is outrageous. A big scam. Longfei sighed. Ha ha ha, that's ridiculous. The people of Tongxian mainland will also regard the sacred road as sacred, as if it is more remarkable. It seems that today is a group of big fools. It has been counted for millions of years. From the beginning to the end, there has never been a person who has set foot on Tongxian Road. Longfei said with a laugh. I can't say what it feels like in my heart. I can only say that I feel sad for those who have entered Tongxian Road. For the rest of your life, for a fairy path. In the end, the soul was refining into a ghost. The bones after death have also become part of the first battlefield, and they must not be superborn forever. It can only be described as sad. Master, you mean? Is this the real Tongxian Road? Before it was just a short journey, an appetizer? Genma was also awakened suddenly, asked. There is a faint color in the bottom of my eyes. If this is the real Tongxian Road, then they have been entering Tongxian Road again and again for countless years. What is it for? If I guess it is good, it should be like this. However, there is no difference. What Tongxian Road is deceptive. It doesn't matter if you come in or not. Longfei said. Even now, he still doesn't know the figure. But from its words, you can guess. This so-called Tongxian Road, this is a bureau. Especially this time, I even pulled myself into it and became a chess piece. However, what the other party can't think of is that this piece of chess is not something he can control. Lung Long Ba Tian used Longfei as a chess piece and has not succeeded so far. A person who does not dare to appear in the real body is also equipped with a dragon-flying chess piece. Non-existent. As for dragon, it's just watching, not saying a word. It seems that everything is not related to him. Longfei didn't care too much. After all, let him go to this step, which is beyond the expectations of Longfei. Looking at Longfei, Longfei suddenly moved in front of him. Reassure, wait for me to explode Chu Shanhai, the mountain road that he controls, is also yours. This world, I will not stay too long. You have proved with enough strength and courage to prove that you have the determination to become a strong. Longfei said. Longfei nodded and didn't say much. Just ask, the white deer and your woman will disappear directly from the beginning of the battlefield. I think, should we find them first? Longfei said. As for another result, he never thinks about it. After all, Longfei has not mentioned it until now, and it proves that it has already been known about their situation. No, If it is the least likely to have any crisis on this road, it must be two of them. They're mystery, even I can't figure it out. The average person wants to leave them, it is impossible. Longfei said. However, after the reminder of dragon flying, the appearance of the two people flashed in my mind. Just don't know, what is the identity of the two in this game? Longfei thought of a sentence. But it did not show it. Of course, for two people, Longfei has already become a person. One as his own brother. A woman who is her own. However, the origins of the two people are too special, so that Longfei can only guess. At this time, the road in front of the three people suddenly became flickering. Longfei's eyes turned and hesitated. Go. Step by step, Longfei took advantage of the trend. Jianma and Longfei followed closely and followed Longfei. For 3 days. The three always circled on this road. It's that Longfei feels tired, and this road has never come to an end. Even, as usual, at first glance, there is no real truth at all. Longfei's footsteps jerked a slap in the face, and a bad premonition emerged in his heart. No, according to our speed, even if this road traverses the entire Tongxian continent, it should be able to see the end now. 3 days of time, the fingers disappeared, but Longfei's heart was not at all easy. Because he still has a task. According to time, there is only 1 day left. In front of the system, there is no sentimentality. If you really can't complete the task, it is very possible to remove Tongxian Road. This is what Longfei is worried about. But now, I can't see the end at all, and I don't want to let Longfei feel a little embarrassed. Master, I feel it when you say this. From the beginning of this road, I have a feeling. It seems like we are walking on a giant beast. I can even feel the violent heartbeat. Jianma said that his face was dignified. Longfei is also a glimpse. What is the temperament of building a horse? Not to mention that the sky is not afraid, but it makes him feel fearful, very few. Moreover, Jianma is different from him. Although he owns the Longu, he is now a human being. The establishment of a horse is not the same, it is a complete beast. Therefore, some kind of perception, Longfei cannot tell the truth is unknown. The behemoth? Impossible? What is there, will it be so big? Longfei said with doubt. This statement of Jianma is too horrible. For 3 days, I said that I have gone hundreds of millions of miles. If it is really a beast, how big is it? I don't know, but this feeling is true. And, I think it will wake up. Jianma said that he couldn't help but tremble and write down. Longfei's face is also a change. I just want to say if there are some people who are worried. Suddenly, a shock and roar, suddenly produced at the foot. Rumble. 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 The roar continued, one after another. At the same time, Longfei also felt the whole road, and it also suddenly broke between at this time. A slap in the face also appeared. This time, I can't believe it. This so-called Tongxian Road is a giant monster body. For a time, Longfei couldn't think too much, and directly swept the two people behind him, and then jumped up and down, vertical and horizontal, away from the so-called road. Kang, you are a stupid old thing, using tricks to suppress Laozi for so long. I want to send people to harass. Do you want me to bully? Chapter 45-43. Chapter 45-43. The behemoth is loud and earth-shattering. This is the real vibration world. It is Longfei. At this moment, I also feel the pain of the flesh. It seems that under the erosion of this sound, it will break down. I am going, what is this in the end? It's just a voice, my body can't afford it. Longfei's heart was flooded, and 10,000 horses and mud horses rushed through his heart. The moment before, in the first battlefield, he also considered his own flesh. Can turn countless enemies in seconds. Fearless. Today, I was directly beaten. System, there is a sentence to sell the batch, I don't know if it is inappropriate. Longfei's heart is sinking. Inexplicable, he felt that this was the system in the pit. Even if you think I just asked you for compensation, don't you hurt me. The same crack, the old man came in without the existence of the other party. Do you still come up with one that exists? Do you want to play with the dead? Longfei said one after another. Hey, the player enters the unknown area and is beyond the control of the system. Hey, the danger coefficient here is 100 stars. Please withdraw as soon as possible, otherwise it will be life-threatening. Hey, please log out as soon as possible. At this time, the system sounds appear one after another. The dragon flies. A face is arrogant. What? Beyond the system control? Isn't this what you sent me in? Longfei was shocked and asked. Hey, space cracks, this is unstable. There is no trajectory, and space is very normal. The player must have entered a dusty space. Please ask the player to quit as soon as possible. Otherwise, the system is not responsible for any conditions. The cold sound of the system said again. And Longfei's heart can no longer be calm at this moment. Even the system has been repeatedly warned, and the place is definitely dangerous. However, quit. How could it be so simple? If this giant has not awakened, Longfei may still have some confidence and leave the space to leave. However, now this giant has awakened and directly opened the invincible mode. In a word, it has already made his body feel pain. At this time, it is tantamount to killing. At this time, Genma and Longfei also stunned Master. What is this? I am cow, so big. It's over, this time it's dead. Boss, we have to finish this time. Genma language said incoherently. In the face of this supergiant, directly lost the courage of fighting. Dragons is constantly shaking its head. Impossible, how can there be such a creature in the world, and it is still being suppressed, how is this possible? Longfei said breathlessly. Although his cultivation is not weak, his physical strength is far from that of Longfei and Genma. Even Longfei will feel severe pain, and he can't bear it. Even between the words, there was already blood in the pores of the whole body, and the whole person was weakened instantly. In the eyes of Longfei, there is a condensate, quiet, and the eternal life in the eyes automatically starts. A ferocity is also emerging in the eyes. You can rest assured that if I am there, I will not let you have anything. Now you have to find a place to wait for me. I want to see if I am. What is this? Longfei said in a heart, since it has been retired. Then hard work. Even if it is impossible, Longfei will never compromise. As soon as I read this, Longfei's figure quickly rose into the air, such as pulling up the onion in the dry land, and instantly leaping into the endless void. At the same time, Longfei directly spreads the knowledge and wants to perceive it. What is this? But as a result, Longfei was extremely disappointed. Even if he spreads the power of God's knowledge to the maximum extent, he still can't perceive it. Ha ha ha, not self-sufficient existence, you are not a little bit, and dare to perceive me. At this moment, the voice reappeared. I don't care what you are, but Lao Tzu has nothing to do with the sage in your mouth. Longfei said. Extremely tough. Even the scorpion sword and the king's blade are ready, and the big deal is hard. However, what makes Longfei puzzled is that after his voice fell, the other party was directly silent. There is only a heavy breathing sound between the whole world. Hey, are you not here? Longfei asked. Kid, I ask you, why do you have a master's breath in your body? A dragon flies, knows the sea, and introduces a voice. Don't think, this sound is the supergiant. Longfei's eyes flashed. Some doubts. The smell of your master. Impossible, Laozi is the first time to come to this world, how can he have contact with your master? Longfei asked. At the same time, I keep thinking about my mind. But in the end, Longfei is extremely certain that he absolutely does not know the master of this supergiant. After all, this supergiant, with the breath, can make you feel oppressed. How strong is his master? It can't be wrong, you have the smell of my master. Not only you, but also the body of the boy below. However, his only strength. And you, but there is a brand of the owner. Kid, tell me, where is my master? The sound was passed into the mind of the dragon. Even with an infinite eagerness and expectation. This kind of emotion makes Longfei's heart unbearable, seems to be infected, and feels infinite sadness. However, what really shocked Longfei was the words of this giant. There is also a force on the body of Longfei. Is there a mark on his body? Hey, In an instant, Longfei's brain roared. A figure directly comes to mind. Night Child charm. The power of Longfei is the clearest. However, it is the atmosphere of the 9 mountains and seas. It is not surprising that this power is the strength of Shan Haizong. The only possibility to remove these 9 forces is the power of the night bones. I am going, this is unlikely. If you say that there is such a giant pet in the night, what is her origin? Longfei's heart pounded. At the same time, there is also a plan in mind. Well, since you see it, I don't hide it. Frank. Actually, this time I came, it is the commission of your master, let me take you away. Longfei said. Whether it is or not, now only Sima can become a living horse doctor. Master asked you to come? Ha ha ha, let me say, I lost so long, the master will miss me. However, what makes Longfei unexpected is that his voice has just fallen. I received a voice in my mind, a very cheering voice. Yes, it is excitement. And it is still the kind of breath that is difficult to suppress. For a time, Longfei's heart was a bit moving. This kind of emotion is more than that of his brother. Thinking of this, there are even some embarrassments in the mind of Longfei. But soon, Longfei will suppress this thinking. It is big, and the task is the biggest. Therefore, Longfei thought must be, and continued, yes, your master asked me to take you away. So, do you want to think about it? Let me see you first, then say something else. Chapter 45-44. Chapter 45-44. Longfei is constantly confused. Regardless of whether this giant is in front of you, is it a pet of the night? Now it's a trick. In short, the area before leaving is the key. It's not impossible for you to see me, but you have to make sure that you must take me to find my master, otherwise I will swallow you. The voice is awkward and comes again. A dragon flies. Take a breath of air. This super giant. If you really want to swallow yourself, you are afraid that it is not enough. Imagine being directly put into your mouth as an ant, thinking about it is a cold. However, the arrow is on the string and has to be sent. Reassure, since I said it, I will do it. Longfei solved it. And his voice just fell. I feel that my feet are empty and I start to fall down. The construction of the horse in the distance is the same as that of Longfei, losing its foothold and instinctively falling. It seems that you have lost your gravity and you can't stand on the void. Rumble. Boom. In front of us, the so-called Tongxian Road has disappeared. I saw a huge, inconspicuous black shadow, and slowly began to get up. At this moment, Longfei was completely shocked. Infinite oppression also converges on the mind with the appearance of this shadow. This feeling is even more tens of times stronger than when I first faced the deity. It's like a small country that sees giants. A natural suppression. Although, to the extent of Longfei, the bigger the difference, the more powerful it is. But what is in front of you is definitely an accident. Very big, very powerful. However, Longfei has long been no longer. With his strength, crossing the void is nothing to say, let alone no gravity. Just for a moment, Longfei adjusted his breath and posture and faced it with all his strength. At this time, the huge black shadow in front of the eyes began to shrink rapidly. Just a blink of an eye, the shadow disappeared, and instead it became a blue light. The whole world was also recovering from a clear time at this time, and it was very empty. Longfei's heart is amazed. Is it really short-sighted, and the disparity before and after the avatar is so big? Longfei said in his heart. It's amazing. But what makes him curious is that this giant is so powerful, who can seal it here? To what extent is it tyrannical? In the thought, Longfei's eyes also gave birth to infinite warfare. Longfei has already felt that the mystery above the mainland has reached the end. The layer of veil has been uncovered by itself. Therefore, no one can make Longfei retreat. It's over. Moreover, nowadays, this giant has been tricked into the side, completely a super trump card. When it comes to the real thing, what else is wrong? See God killing God. And at this time, the blue light spot slowly approached him in the void. Just like the blue stars, every step of the way, flashing a dreamy light spot. illuminate the entire void. It is Longfei, and there is a moment of silence in my heart. It seems to be extremely quiet. Gradually, the blue light spot is getting closer and closer, and Longfei's heartbeat is gradually accelerating. He really wants to see, this is the real giant in the tens of thousands of miles, what is the existence of what? However, outside this blue light group, it is a special atmosphere and strength wrapped around it, that is, Longfei does not dare to easily test, for fear of angering this monster. Well, kid, I have shown the real body, you can take me to find my master. A very irritable voice was introduced into Longfei's mind. With the introduction of this sound, Longfei finally captured the real body of this giant. For a moment, Longfei Petrochemical was on the spot. He can't think of it anyway. Nothing else, just because of this image, completely out of the expectations of Longfei. Cat. A cat with a blue star shining all over. I rely on it, is it really just a cat? Longfei feels that the entire person's IQ has received insults. Obviously, Longfei's emotional changes also make the cat in front of him feel, kid, are you looking for death? Believe it or not, this adult has swallowed you in one breath. Within the blue light group, the breath became fierce again. A road of pressure is also released. Even the body began to swell and seemed to be transformed into a true body. Longfei's face is also a condensate and becomes cautious. However, in the next moment, the blue light group flickered directly, like a deflated balloon, and instantly recovered. Even the resulting pressure is completely devoid of the horror of the past, and at the moment of the impending dragonfly, it is directly washed away by the power of the second-generation creation. For a moment, a dragon flies. The cat in the blue light group, that is, the Scorpio, is also a glimpse. I rub, play? Longfei was shocked. The gap between the front and back is really too big. Even, Longfei has a feeling of being shackled. The strong deception tastes above my heart. Even with this cat, it is no longer as good as before. Cough, kid, this is an accident. Yes, this adult has been sealed for too long. Just recovered, the power will not break out. But don't think about yelling at me, otherwise I can swallow you. Scorpio said. Still proud. But the tone is not as strong as before. Longfei's heart instantly fell to the bottom of the valley. I thought that I had a trump card that I couldn't do, but I didn't expect it to be just a Hello Kitty. There is absolutely no interest at all. Forget it, I don't have any thoughts to tell you anything else. I will ask you how to get out of this space. Longfei asked. The attitude is directly changing from 180 degrees. There is no previous worry or caution at all. And Scorpio, just want to go back. You can see the eyes of Longfei, and swallowed back. Forcing me to have no seizures, staring at the dragon and flying, boy, you will regret it. You wait for the grown-up to regain strength and adapt to the status quo. Even if you have a relationship with the master, I will let you kneel down to me. Scorpio thought secretly. But in the end, under the gaze of Longfei, he said faintly, I don't know. When I was framed by others, I woke up and was already in this space. As for what it is, I don't know. Scorpio said. At this moment, Longfei's face was completely cold. Sighed, so, you just have no use at all? Longfei sounds extremely cold. Before I thought of it, I actually played in front of a cat and said good things. Longfei felt the hot face on his face. It is simply a temptation on the edge of mental retardation. Fart, who said that this adult is useless. This adult is the favorite pet of the owner. One of my anger, everything has to tremble. Kid. Scorpio is extremely angry, seems to be looked down by Longfei, making him very unhappy. To shut up. Chapter 45-45. Chapter 45-45 Longfei shouted. If it is not the suspicion of this cat in the heart, there is a connection between the knight and the child. Longfei now wants to kill the killer. There will be no hesitation. I used to think that I have encountered a lot of existence, I can't think of a cat that is nothing. What use is you in addition to being in blue? Longfei said disdain. Kid, don't be arrogant, wait for the day to regain strength, and let you kneel in minutes. Scorpio said. Even if it can't be transformed now, it is still very proud. I waited, but now, since you don't have this ability, you will get to the side. Don't delay lousy doing business. Longfei said. In any case, it is imperative to get out of this space. No doubt, as the system said. This space should be connected to Tongxian Road, even before the battlefield. However, it is by no means a fairy pasture. After all, the mission was not completed and Longfei was not eligible to enter. In the awkward road that emerged before, Longfei also believes that it is no coincidence. Oh, I ask you, what happened to the stone monument on your body when you were incarnate? Longfei asked. Above the stone monument, engraved on the fairy. If it was later established, you should know that day. What stone monument? This adult does not know. Anyway, since I woke up, I have never been in this space. Scorpio said. At the same time, the eyes began to move quickly in space. It seems to be searching for something. Immediately, the eyes of Tianzhu condensed and found the stone monument that Longfei said. Tongxian. Passing a fart, this is not a piece of scrap on the fruit beads, dare to say Tongxian? Don't think about it, it must be the old thing of Kang, made to confuse the world. Scorpio said. Longfei's eyes turned. Do you say this stone is a scrap on the pillar of heaven? Also, is that person called Kang? Longfei asked. Instinctively, Longfei felt that the Kang in the mouth of Tianzhu was the one he had seen before. Hey, scared you, chaos thieves. When the owner returns, he will be suppressed, and he will never be superborn. Scorpio said proudly. Longfei's eyes moved. For Scorpio, direct selectivity is ignored. For such a daily bragging, his words are somewhat credible, and Longfei has no concept at all. But in the words of Scorpio, Longfei is more and more convinced. That person is the sage that is said in the mouth of the sky. Don't say it's useless. If you know that it is Kang, then you tell me why it is a chaotic thief, and whether you are also suppressed here, and your master, with Kang, what is the cause and effect? Longfei asked in succession. Every time I ask, Longfei feels that it is getting closer and closer to the truth. Kid, some things are not something you can inquire. This matter involves too much. Scorpio is pretentious. It seems that I am a high-ranking person, and it seems that I have found a sense of existence here. Can't help but want to show big. Longfei's eyes are dark and a black line. Don't talk nonsense. If you want to go out and find your master as soon as possible, let me know what you know. Longfei's voice sank and said faintly. The proudness of the face of Scorpio disappeared instantly and became an excitement. Really? Scorpio said quickly. That depends on how much you know. Longfei said. Actually, I don't know much about the year. The expression on the face of Scorpio is very strong. I also said before, I was framed by people. So many things happened during the time of sleep. But one thing I saw was my own eyes, that is, the master has fallen. Scorpio said, there was an endless grief in his eyes. Very heavy. Longfei is a depressed face. Scorpio's answer is completely superfluous, and there is no use for breaking this space. For a time, Longfei's eyes also showed a touch of helplessness. Yes, it is at this time. Because the Scorpio body returned to the deity, under the open air of the earth, a sudden stench broke out. Strange smell is incomparable. Immediately afterwards, the monsters that followed one another began to surge from the ground. Longfei's line of sight was also attracted to this moment. The corpse. How can there be such a thing here? No, should you? At this time, the face of Scorpio suddenly changed. Full of doubts. But in a blink of an eye, the eyes of Scorpio suddenly burst into an urgent and incomparable hatred. Kid, I know, under this space, it should be the exit you are looking for. Scorpio said suddenly. How do you know? Longfei asked a question. I still didn't know anything about it. Now, after the mood is fluctuating, can I be so sure? Because this day the corpse. Only the most powerful person in the world is degraded, and it is possible to derive this kind of insect. And this space, no one except me, no one exists. The only possible explanation is that there is still a place under this space. Scorpio said. Long Fei is slightly indulged. But before he could speak, Scorpio said again, "Yes, it must be like this. No wonder Kang will frame me and let me sleep here. Because of my strength, I just restrained the smell of the corpse. Well, I used to restrain my master." Tian Hao hated and said, "The more you say, the more the atmosphere." Long Fei's eyes are a glimpse. For the words of Scorpio, can't you believe it? But, however, since this is a possibility, Long Fei cannot give up. Moreover, the appearance of the corpse on this day also made Long Fei's heart move. Originally, there was only 1 day left. If the mission fails, he will be expelled. At the moment, it is a good opportunity. Thinking of this, Long Fei's eyes were shocked and the murder was surging. "No matter what you said, I will believe you once. Build a horse, work." Long Fei shouted and immediately shot. The next moment, Long Fei squats and dives, and does not care about the taste of the corpse on this day. Directly launch a fierce fight. Hey! Howl! A sword smashed, and the power of winning the hook reaggregated. Sharp can't be done. Directly become the nemesis of this day's corpse, crushing the slaughter. Jianma and Long Fei also joined the battlefield at this time. Under the power of the two, countless corpses were constantly being annihilated. Hey, congratulations to the player, Dragonfly kills the corpse. A series of prompts appeared in the system. However, Long Fei did not care. These existences also do not reveal anything at all. The so-called experience is some. What Long Fei really cares about is the task of the system. But now, Long Fei has been immersed in the killing, and still keeps out the sword. Finally, at the moment when Long Fei killed the last day of the corpse, the system sound reappears. Hey, congratulations to the players to complete the mission and eradicate the 90,000 people in the Tongxian corner. Chapter 45-46. Chapter 45-46. Hey, congratulations to the players for getting into the Tongxian ranch. Hey, congratulations to the players to kill the corpse, and gain a cumulative experience of 300 billion. The system sounds down. Long Fei's eyes flashed in the eyes. The joy of accident. I did not expect that when I completed the task, I could still gain 300 billion experience. All are transformed into experience Dan. Long Fei said. Upgrade now, some waste. An upgrade is tantamount to not killing, but it will be useful later. Moreover, the crisis on Tongxian Road is very serious, and Long Fei naturally has to prepare for both hands. Hey, the upgrade experience translates into 10 experience dans. Long Fei is satisfied. The unpleasantness that was born before because of the Scorpio was also put aside. Instead, look at the horizon and the boundless land. At this time, with the destruction of the corpse. In this space, it has changed again and again. The original corpse covered the entire land and is now cleared. Above the earth, it also became radiant. The colorful light is gorgeous, filling from the earth, like the sea of light, beautiful, people feel the heart is very refreshing. It seems that there is something there, and now I see it again. Sure enough, the ****** Kang, let Lousy to suppress such filthy things. Damn, wait for Lousy to find the owner, and let the master destroy you in minutes. At this time, the side of the sky looked at the sigh of breath underneath, the atmosphere said. Then, don't wait for Long Fei and others to move, and go straight. Then, as if it were memorable, it was still in the sea of light and quieted down. At this time, Jianma and Long Fei also came to Long Fei. Master, what is this super monster? I can't see it at all. Jianma said. In his eyes, it is still just a group of blue light. I can't see the body of Scorpio at all. What a supergiant, it is a cat. Long Fei said. Extremely disdainful. No, he is not ordinary. Although it is just a cat, it gives me the feeling that it is stronger than the wild beast. Long Fei suddenly said. This is also the first time he has spoken about the disobedience of Long Fei. Okay. What did you see? Long Fei asked. I can't say this feeling, but there is an instinct. If the cat is worried, even if it is the whole continent, it can be destroyed in an instant. Long Fei said. A dragon flies. The eyes became calmer. Dragons will not lie to himself. This is a certainty. In the same way, Longfei can have this feeling, and it also confirms Longfei's speculation. That is, this cat is most likely to have a relationship with the night. This point, before the Scorpio said that Longfei had the smell of his master, Longfei had already guessed it. Plus, now in the phrase dragon flying, it is so firm. It is to let Longfei believe. Because, even the construction of the horse cannot see the existence, Longfei can see the true body, can be imagined. For a time, Longfei's eyes looked at Tianzhu and changed again. Is this guy so powerful? It seems that you should be careful not to let any moths appear in the future. Longfei thought in his heart. Immediately, it is also moving toward the bottom of the spot. Step by step. The closer it is, the quieter it is in the heart of Longfei. As the same epiphany, the four are all empty, and the heart is very peaceful. But there is another inexplicable sorrow in this peace. It is like a kind of faith, full of faint sadness. Scorpio, what is this power? Longfei went forward and asked. Scorpio looked at Longfei with a faint look, and the pupils were unwilling and hateful. This is the day. Scorpio silently, in the tender, with incomparably heavy. In an instant, Longfei's eyes glimpsed. Day. Unbelievable. But Scorpio's eyes told him that Scorpio did not lie to him. However, this statement is unheard of. I have experienced countless before. The sky has fallen, and Longfei has experienced it. But in the end, it is just a cultivation of a powerful person, and it is only a part of the face, and it must be destroyed. Therefore, in the knowledge of Longfei, heaven, but it is just an illusory title. Heaven and earth, the endless universe. It is just an ancestor but a definition of the definition of this innocent universe. Invisible and incomparable, it is impossible to be anything specific. But now, it is told by Tianzhu, is it the sky? Still the day. How can you not be shocked? At this time, Scorpio suddenly said, with your level, it is impossible to get in touch with these things. Life can be accomplished through cultivation. That day, the people were born with faith, and they were born with wisdom. Why not? Scorpio said. Even if it is a sad face, don't forget to scorn the dragon. Longfei grinned and looked helpless. Don't say it's useless, tell me directly, what's going on? Longfei frowned. The eyes of Tianzhu moved, and they made a deep sigh and said, it has been said many years ago. Scorpio just opened, and Longfei directly covered the past with a slap. Talk about the point. Longfei said quietly. Scorpio eyes. A face of resentment, but in the face of Longfei, there is nowhere to vent. Kid, wait, break through this area. Lousy finds my master, activates my experience, you must look good. Scorpio swears in his heart. However, it still said, I have already said before, there are some things I have not experienced. But now, what is certain is that this piece of light is the result of the fall of my master. Scorpio said. Immediately there was another grief in the eyes. And the corpse is obviously not used to cover up this breath, preventing me from waking up in advance. Scorpio said. Who is that Kang? Longfei asked. This is the point. Not to mention whether it is true or false. The key to all this core is Kang. Kang, it is only one of the 8 kings under this fairy screen. However, the owner is too lazy to let him have a chance. If Scorpio said. While Longfei is in the heart, he is rapidly digesting what Tianyu said. If so, it is. The layout of the Kang must be related to the owner of the Scorpio. That is the night child. Thinking of this, Longfei has some concerns in his heart. It's about the night, and Longfei has no idea to think more. He can't touch a woman he believes. As soon as I read this, Longfei abandoned the Tianzhu and looked directly at the system. System, now that I have completed the task, can I directly enter Tongxian Ranch? Longfei asked. Yes, but only one player. The system said. A dragon flies. Immediately, he took a deep breath and summoned Genma and Longfei. You follow him. What he does for you, you will be able to break this space. But now the time is tight, I don't have time to spend. I am waiting for you on the Tongxian Ranch. Long Fei quickly said, and then did not wait for a few people to say, directly start the system, and then the figure disappeared in the same place. Chapter 45-48. Chapter 45-48 Knife. Long Fei will be afraid of him? Non-existent. The blade of the king is in the hand, and Long Fei has absolute confidence. Regardless of the identity of the other party, and regardless of the means of the other party, as long as it is a boss, it is dry. Booming. Bang. At this time, Dong Tianwang waved, directly cracking the landslide, and the mountains and rivers roared. The power is shocking. The kid, relying on the cultivation of the realm of the reverse zone to the peak of the people, dare to arrogate in front of the king? It's too self-sufficient. This knife, want your life. Dong Tianwang is at the top of the house, talking coldly. I have to say that this kind of battle is so majestic that Long Fei feels a little moved. The force is too high. Mom, don't talk about strength first. This attitude is forced. Oscar owes you a movie. Long Fei's heart snorted. He is the least likely to see others in front of him. I always thought that others were wastes, and they were vulnerable in front of him. In fact, it is not the case at all. Therefore, Long Fei directly said, to have the life of lousy, you have to see if you have this qualification. However, there is a saying that you said well, Lao Tzu is now back to you. With your the 4 royals who control the earth, the dogs running under the door of Kang, dare to smash in front of Laozi? Long Fei said faintly. The face of Dong Tianwang finally changed at this time. In the past few years, since the change of the celestial continent, the change of the dynasty, after the control of the palm of the hand, no one will know the title of the 4 royalties. But he didn't know it at all, and he couldn't imagine it. Long Fei control system, this anti-theft artifact, can be seen at a glance. Kid, no wonder the adults pay so much attention to you. It seems that you know a lot. However, you don't know. The more you know, the faster you die. Since I know the identity of the king, I dare to be arrogant. Ben, give you a death. East Heavenly King still looks disdainful. In his opinion, as long as this knife, Long Fei will die. But at this time, the long knife in the hands of Long Fei suddenly flashed. Go out and go out. The posture is like a sky opening, a fierce stroke. Rumble. Endless knives broke through the sky, and Kowloon roared out. The body of Long Fei is also on top of the giant faucet in the middle, waving a knife, and the town is arrogant. Hey! The endless earth cracked and was cut off by Long Fei. The endless mountains and rivers roared by the dragon. The earth is calm, and the mountains and rivers are silent. At this moment, any words are superfluous. Time and space are in silence. The face of Dong Tianwang changed, and his power was instantly lost to nothingness, and his eyes were full of incredulity. Why don't you have such a power in a district to the peak of people? I don't believe, Dong Wangdao, hey. Dong Tianwang's face was unwilling, roaring, and again. And Long Fei, the corner of his mouth is a smile. The power of the East King, he has been smashed. It is simply not vulnerable. Of course, not that he is weak. But now the dragon fly, the physical strength is already against the sky. It's like this. It can be said that the same is the Kowloon royal sky. Now, under the sword of Long Fei, it is 10 times more powerful than the previous power. Ha ha ha, cool. Win the hook. It is simply the opposite of Lao Tzu. Rest assured, I will definitely go to the earth. At that time, the power of the earth's mythological era will be searched casually. Is it not invincible? Long Fei's heart has already imagined. But the mind, but still locked in the East King. At this point, I saw that Dong Tianwang actually went out again. Long Fei is also a step out. Naturally you can't get used to him. Long Fei has always been like this. It can be simple and violent, and it will never waste time and effort. Brush. Between the backhands, Long Fei also slashed a knife. Booming. Roar. 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 Kowloon once again roared out, and the tyrannical direct aggression went away. Hey! For a moment, the power of Dong Tianwang was instantly annihilated and directly destroyed by Long Fei. Even more than that. Because the power of Long Fei has not dissipated, and in the roar of Kowloon, it went directly to the East King. "Do not!" Dong Tianwang shouted, and his face changed. All pride and arrogance, between this interest, does not exist directly. It turned into a panic. As fear of death. "No. Impossible, there is absolutely no such thing in the world that I can feel the threat of death. I do not believe. East Wang Yin, give me away." The East King constantly quits, apparently already seeing the power of Longfei. At the same time, directly in the hands of a large seal. Rumble. Rumble. Suddenly, one of the big prints circling directly above the void, and an extremely powerful force sprang from it. Brush it. A ray of light spurts from it, illuminating the heavens and the earth. In an instant, the entire Tongxian ranch is illuminated by the power of this party. Hey! A loud noise. Longfei's knife was also suppressed by the power of this big seal. Suddenly, Longfei slightly frowned. But in a flash, it is ecstasy. There is no God. Longfei suddenly saw that this East King seal is definitely a supreme being. Too strong. It seems to be the power that accommodates the endless vast land. Extremely thick. Can't miss it, you can't miss it. Ha ha ha, I can't think of it. How long has it not exploded? And, in this big print, you still control the power of the endless earth, it is not too strong. Longfei heartbeat family members, the eyes are shining, like a hungry man who saw a feast, the face cannot restrain the desire and desire. At this time, Dong Tianwang saw that Dong Wangyin had shattered the sword of Longfei, and the figure of the retreat also stopped. On the face of Dong Tianwang, I seem to see hope in general. After all, he is one of the 4 royalties, but he has absolutely no desire to escape if he hopes to destroy Longfei. To their extent, living a face. However, what he did not know was that if he had escaped before, he would at most leave the East King. But now, it's all about sending yourself to death. Longfei saw Dong Tianwang go and return, and his eyes are also a glimpse. Very good, I still worry that you will run away, and Laozi will not be able to explode anything else. Longfei said casually, the strength of the hands reaggregated, and then between the bombardment, the blade of the king of the hand disappeared and became a sword. With a big bang, Longfei's eyes were firm and his sword was thrown out. Brush. A sword is cold, like an instant eternal, and the direct breaks of the sky between the moments, the glory of the sky, even if the power of the East King seal, under this sword, eclipsed. Dong Tianwang did not stand firm, just wanted to control Dong Wangyin to reshoot. But at this moment, the feeling of a catastrophe is instantly lingering over my heart. I didn't have time to think about it. He directly abandoned Dong Wangyin and turned and left. However, it is still late. Puff. Longfei swept a sword and cut off the retreat of Dong Tianwang. A sword penetrated his heart. Do not. I don't want to die. Several. Save me. Dong Tianwang's body was scattered, unable to stumble, but his eyes still filled with the desire to survive, shouting at the void. Chapter 45-49. Chapter 45-49. Longfei is also a glimpse. Even the movements in the hands are a meal, and the eyes directly look above the void. Brush it. The light above the void circulates, flashing 3 streams of light, followed by 3 figures directly descending. Kid, stop. Are you tired of living? I dare to wait for me to wait. I don't know what to do. You are already dead and you don't know yourself. You dare to dominate the world and kill the sins of death. Suddenly, I had 3 voices. Fall from the sky. Every voice is arrogant. It's like they are born high and they control the sentient beings. But Longfei, I don't have a cold at all. With a look of his eyes are full of contempt, he just said that, now, I have been beaten by me. Where do you think you can be strong? But it is to send food. Longfei said faintly. Among the calm scorpions, the heartbeat is difficult to suppress. Boss, boss, boss. All-round boss. Each of these 3 people is shining with boss golden light, which is extremely dazzling. However, Longfei is not moving, and with his combat power, it is not difficult to kill a few people. But it is not easy to leave all of them. However, the boss is in front, Longfei is absolutely not willing to let the other side leave. Therefore, He is now delaying time. Kid, have to say, you do have to. Either of us is not your opponent, but don't forget, we are 3 now. You have no chance of winning. If I were you, I would kneel down now, and I would suffer from the flesh and blood. The trio said one after another, killing is rampant. Received by Nima. 3 people are very good. If Larotsu can kill you, you will explode all 3 of you. Good, isn't it arrogant? Do you think that Larotsu does not dare? Sorry, I think too much. In Laozi's dictionary, there is no word. Give me death. Longfei continued to provoke, and immediately the hands of the sorcerer's sword moved, and a crazy swordsman swarmed out and directly provoked the body of Dongshenwang. Not a few lives. Kid, stop working. This king can guarantee that you will not kill you today. Dong Tianwang said quickly. This moment, I am really scared. The power of the sorcerer's sword is raging in his body. He has the feeling that if Longfei has another sword, he will die. What he didn't know was that when he appeared in this world, the result was already active. At this point, the threat is open, but it is faster to let him die. Threats. What Laozi is most afraid of is the threat. And, I have to look at it, killing you, what will happen? Longfei mouth corner pick, disdain. At the same time, the power of creation was shocked and directly poured into the sword. No, kid, don't kill me. I am Dong Tianwang, I am the supreme world leader. As long as you don't kill me, I can give you everything you want, no merits, no endless wealth, and beauty in the world. What do you want? Do not kill me. And, if you kill me, you will be alarmed by the adults, and even if God is resurrected, you will not be able to save you. Dong Tianwang quickly said that he was already soft in the muzzle. However, the more excited he is, the more contemptuous Longfei's eyes are. It's useless to say nothing, no need to resurrect in the sky. Larotsu not only wants to kill you, along with these people, but also the adults behind you. I will never let go. Now, die for me. Longfei said. The sword in his hand was twisted. Laugh. The body of Dong Tianwang was directly smashed and instantly turned into thousands of pieces. The blood of the gods was everywhere, and the sky was scattered. At this moment, the 3 people above the void were completely shocked. The face is extremely angry. They never thought that they had arrived, and Longfei dared to kill the killer. Be bold, you, it seems that today, we have to join forces against the enemy. Well, since Dong Tianwang is already dead, when we kill this kid, we will take over the power of the earth together. Great good. But now, I still marry this madman. The 3 men said one by one. Below, Longfei's eyes are a slight glimpse. It is really sad. Dong Tianwang is still waiting for a few people to save him, but several people have been thinking about how to divide his power from beginning to end. But you can rest assured that soon I will send them to ***** and let them compete. Longfei said in his heart. At this time, it is too late to think about it. The power of the 3 has fallen from the sky. Cleft and cracked. Sun and moon collapse. Stars change. The 3 shots are killing, and the 3 forces directly impact the heavens and the earth, making the whole space one. Longfei's heart was tight, and the sorcerer's sword suddenly swayed between the swords. Hey! However, in the blink of an eye, the power of the sword is directly annihilated. And the power of the 3 is still very incomparable. My day, the 3 people are so strong. Longfei was shocked, and the backhand of the king's blade was shot again. Boom! However, the results are still bursting in an instant. It is the blade of the king, all of which are shocked by the power of 3 people. Puff. Longfei figure retired, this time confrontation, the 5 internal organs were shocked, a stream of blood spouted. Oh, it's vain struggle. I just said that I have already said that when you are joined by 3 of us, are you still alive? Nothing, die, said the 3. And in the eyes of Longfei, there was also an anxiety color at this time. System, what's the matter? Explosion. I can expect the King of Heaven to explode. Longfei's heart is in contact with the system. As soon as the 3 were coming, Longfei had already made a decision. That is the upgrade. Only by upgrading can we have absolute means to kill a few people. Under the boulevard, you can definitely turn the whole game in seconds. What makes Longfei unexpected is that at this time, the system is actually again. No response at all. I am Nima, the key moment is off the chain. There is no way, only to devour the experienced Dan. Longfei hated in the eyes. Not good, just as he put the experienced Dan into the entrance, the power of the three people came one after another. Boom. In an instant, the three violent forces directly drowned the dragon. Rumble. Rumble. The whole void has become a hollow, as if the heavens and the earth have collapsed, and the dragon is directly suppressed. For a time, above the entire void, they fell into silence. The body of the three men stood above the void and looked at the power of the void in the sky. The faces were all overjoyed. Ha ha ha, but that's it. This is our chance, and this kid is too arrogant. I really thought it would make our opponents. Ha ha ha, the power of the earth, and the opportunity that adults promised us, will definitely allow me to wait any further. The three people laughed. However, the laughter has not lasted for a few seconds. A roar directly interrupted the laughter of several people. Laugh. Laugh at you. It's cool to play. Reassured, now it is the turn of Larotsu, you will definitely let you experience the same, what is sour. Then, the sound of Longfei appeared and came from the hollow. Chapter 4550. Chapter 4550. In a blink of an eye, it's 1,000. Just in the moment when the power of three people hit Longfei. The sound of the system has lived up to expectations. So that in the heart of Longfei, I am somewhat grateful. Too timely. If it is not the system that bursts out, I am afraid that he will not engulf the experience of Dan, and he will be engulfed by this power. At that time, even if it is not dead, it is seriously injured. However, before the system appeared, it was just a reminder of the upgrade, and directly brought Longfei back from the edge of the crisis. At the moment, Longfei's business has appeared. However, the figure still receives the systematic baptism in the outburst of this power. Hey, congratulations to the player Longfei upgrade, the current level is Super Big 8 layers. Upgrade experience 10000000000000000000000 points. Direct upgrade. Originally, Longfei was only 40 billion yuan away from the upgrade. Now it kills Dongshenwang and directly rewards 50 billion years of experience. After the upgrade, there are more than 10 billion. Of course, the source value will not be less, and the value of the 5 billion yuan will directly push the power of Longfei to a peak. Coupled with the upgrade, all negative states disappeared. Everything has returned to its peak. But Longfei is not in a hurry to go out. Anyway, now that it has been upgraded, the hands of the avenue are out, and these people have absolutely no room for resistance. He is still waiting for the sound of the system. Hey, congratulations to the player, Longfei, killing the East King, and getting the East King's knife. Hey, congratulations to the player to get the East King. Hey, congratulations to the player for the land authority. Hey, congratulations to the players to get the King of the King. Do you want to practice? The system sounds down. East King is a fairy. Not practicing. It's too much food, and even the knife of the king's blade can't hold back. It's no use for cultivation. Longfei heart responded to the system. The higher the realm is now. The means is second. Only the power that can really be crushed is the king. Obviously, the power of Dong Tianwang is not enough to make Longfei tempted. On the contrary, there are a few other ones that are truly high-spirited. View the past directly through the system. Dong Wangyan, Tongxian 4 Royal Seals. Grade, the secondary source level description, nothing on the refining of the gods, the integration of the will of the heavens and the earth, the power of the earth, the suppression of the heavens. Get it, suppress all the creatures above the earth. Longfei's eyes stared at the description of the system. The heartbeat begins to accelerate. It's made, it's awesome. Daoyuan level? Above the creation level? Longfei thought in his heart. Dong Wangyan will play in his hands and watch the light of the yellow, orange and orange on his captain. There is also a heavy weight that is light and heavy, and the heart is cool. Of course, this is not the key. It is arrogant to suppress the creatures above the earth. However, Long Fei also knows that this is certainly not all, otherwise the power will not be broken by himself. It can only be said that within the relative scope, it is possible to suppress everything above the earth. However, even this is enough to go against the sky. It can be said that this is the sword of Shangfang. Even if it is obtained by an unarmed mortal, it can be made into a ***** and kill the heavens. Long Fei's heart will be depressed and continue to look at the other. The authority of the earth, the power of the law of the mainland. Simple seconds, but still let Long Fei feel in the heart. In terms of comparison, what is the mountain road, compared with this kind of power, is simply a pediatrics. Authority means control. Just like the royal power in the secular, the representative is the control. The authority of the earth, what is represented, is the rule of the earth. I Cao, Chu Shanhai, next time I meet, I will let you know why the flowers are so red. Looking at the power of the law of the earth's authority in the hands, Long Fei's eyes are reappearing, and I can't help but look forward to it. This time, it can be said that it is a big explosion. Ha ha ha, there are 3 such bosses. Explosion, burst. One can't be less. Long Fei's heart is sure, and the belief is greatly increased. Immediately, a punch smashed the aftermath of all power and reappeared above the void. At this point, the 3 people in the void have been forced. Looking at the intact, the dragon is more arrogant than before, and the eyes are very strong. How can this be? Still breaking through? He has come to the realm of realism? How can this be? No, this is not dead. He and I have to wait for 3 people to have a good day. The 3 thoughts are different, but they have a unified expression. That is fear. If they say that Long Fei killed East King, they were just a little shocked. Some movements. So now, it has been replaced by the color of fear. At this point, Long Fei listened to the words of several people, and his mouth could not help but smile. He is? No need. Today, you all have to die. Long Fei said quietly. Still thinking about it later. Non-existent. When they appeared in front of Long Fei, when the light of the boss reflected in the eyes of Long Fei. Their results are already doomed. That is death. In the face of bosses, even if you pay more, Long Fei will not let go. Moreover, it has been upgraded now. Long Fei also has a killing skill. Can you let them run? Non-existent. Kid, don't be arrogant. You are just lucky. It's just that we are just a tentative attack. This time, you will die. 2. Prepare for the strongest blow. I don't believe he can live. The 3 men looked down and said heavily. Immediately, the strength of the 3 men began to become mysterious. Under the sky, I am the only one. Sun and moon are unparalleled. The power of the stars, the world is boundless. Suddenly, 3 bursts of explosives appeared, followed by 3 forces, directly pushed out from the hands of several people. And Long Fei, at this time, is also a bright spot. Law. The law of the sky, the law of the sun and the moon. Star law. Long Fei has a sense of directness in his heart. At the same time, Long Fei also swept through the system page. The identity of the 3 people is also clear. The same is the 4 royal. One controls the sky, one is in charge of the sun and the moon, and one is in charge of the stars. Both are creation plus level bosses. Everything is like what Long Fei thinks. Dry. Mom, Kang is, this time, I will let you understand that everything is hindered. In front of Laozi, it is a stepping stone for Laozi to become more and more frustrated. When you take Laozi as a pawn, Laozi will give your doglegs a discount. The hand of the avenue, drop. As soon as I read it, Long Fei's heart was lifted and the big hand waved. Rumble. Rumble. For a moment, above the void, a pair of big hands smashed the sky and descended from the sky. Endless rhythm and supreme atmosphere instantly suppressed the audience. Yu Tianwang. Sun and Moon King, and Star King, right? Are you ready to die? Long Fei said coldly. When the hand of the avenue came out, the fate of several people has been judged. What rules do you have? The road is in my hand, everything else is slag. Long Fei has been waiting, 3 people are violent, cool. Chapter 45:51. Chapter 45:51. The road is in my hand. This is the strongest killing of Longfei, no one. Even the slaying skills of the sorcerer's sword can't compare. The hand of the avenue came out, ignoring the level, ignoring the repair, and indiscriminate crushing. As long as it is cultivated as a category that has never been abrupt, it is not a foreign body. If it is not a person outside the law, there will be no second result. There is only one, that is to be suppressed. Nowadays, in the midst of killing, the hand of Longfei Shijan Avenue has long been holding the heart of murder. As long as it is a boss, there is no hesitation. It is bursting. At this time, the Royal King, the Sun and the Moon King, the Star King, the three have been completely circled. Their power, at this moment, directly solidifies in the void. It seems to be the power of the branch, and it touches the subject. Solidified between moments. All the Ray words are directly slamming at this moment, and the power of is disappearing. It seems that in the face of the power of Longfei, it is self-defeating. What power is this? Is it purely incomparable? Over the road above heaven and earth? Impossible, this is impossible. How can this power be in the hands of an unknown waste? The three roared. I can't believe what I saw. At the same time, everyone's heart also gave birth to an idea. That is to escape. A sense of powerlessness is directly above their minds. Impossible? It's just that you don't know it. The big one is also what you can imagine. In front of my strength, your heavenly path is a joke. Longfei said indifferently. At this time, the hand of the avenue was even under pressure. Booming. Hey! The power of the three, in this instant, directly collapsed. What is the law of the sky, the power of the sun and the moon, the light of the stars? In a blink of an eye, all collapsed. It's three people, at this moment, it's also a heavy fall from the void. The endless boulevard pressure, oppressed on three people. In an absolutely sturdy posture, crushed and destroyed. Puff puff. The trio had no accidents and directly vomited blood. Don't close your hand. Kid. No, adults, I am willing to be a slave to the slaves, willing to sacrifice the Prince of the Sky, and in the future, the adults will be respected, as long as the adults can make me a dog. Yes, adults, me too, I am willing to dedicate the heart of the sun and the moon. In the future, the sun and the moon will be, and the adults will be eternal. And me, I am willing to give the light of the stars. Under the stars of the future, adults will be unparalleled. Suddenly, the three directly asked for mercy. This scene was as early as expected by Longfei. But the same is also expected. Before, the hand of the avenue came out, directly killing, where there will be opportunities for the other side to beg for mercy. Unexpectedly, the other party is still struggling. It seems that the power of the hand of the avenue needs to be improved. Longfei thought of it. Instinctively, I immediately thought of the system sister. The current system is similar to hosting, and everything is a result of the system's own operation. If the system girl wakes up, then when the deductive power of the day is exerted, it will be able to push the next state of the hand of the avenue. But now, the system sister is asleep, this idea can only think about it. In one thought, Longfei returned to the heart and looked at the three people who were pleading for mercy on the ground. Eyes are indifferent. Not at all moved. Beg for mercy does not exist. Being kind to the boss is cruel to yourself. Will you leave your chance to leave? Impossible. Now beg for mercy? Don't you think it's too stupid? Xingsha moved people to kill me, now I want to ask for excuse if I am not an opponent. Which is such a good thing in the world. As for what you said, killing you, Laro Tsu has everything, a lot. A few words in the cold, Longfei's eyes sank, and then his right hand slightly lifted, and then rolled down again. With the action of Longfei, above the void, the hand of the avenue is also falling. Rumble. The power of true silence is sweeping over and over, directly suppressing the three people. After a while, Longfei closed his hand. Between heaven and earth, there has been no smell of three people. I rub. Wouldn't it be crushed directly? System, it won't be ruined with everything. Suddenly, Longfei was in a panic. In my heart, I even hate myself for being too embarrassed. This is 3 super bosses. If nothing can burst, wouldn't he let his bamboo baskets fetch water? Yes, it is at this time. The sound of the system appears quietly. Hey, congratulations to the players to kill Yu Tianwang, gaining 50 billion experience, the source value is 5 billion, and the violent value is 1 point. And 3 times in a row, appearing one after another. This is only certain on the face of Longfei. Since the system can make a sound, it means that this time the 3 bosses, no one is spared, all burst out. Hey, congratulations to the players for the great print. Hey, congratulations to the players for their prints. Hey, congratulations to the players for the heart of the sun and the moon. Hey, congratulations to the player for the sun and moon. Hey, congratulations to the player for the light of the stars. Hey, congratulations to the players for the stars. Then, it was a prompt from the system. Longfei's eyes have been changed. Look at this violent thing, the heart is slowed down half a beat. Ha ha ha, a lot, all burst. System, this time, power. Finally let Lousy cool off once. Longfei laughed in his heart. Looking at the things that broke out this time, my heart is straightforward. For the long time, this is the first big explosion. It's just cool. It doesn't have to be violent at all, it is already like violent. All he wanted, all burst out. 3 bosses, 1 quite a lot. Then, Longfei's gaze was viewed one by one on the things that broke out. The sky is big, the heart of the sun and the moon, the light of the stars. As far as the East King is printed, the existence of the secondary source level is arrogant. There is only, but it is also the real power of heaven and earth. Bell. Longfei sighed in his heart. Then look at the other. The information of the celestial seal, the sun and the moon, and the stars are also presented in front of Longfei. It is in general with the authority of the earth, a force that condenses the will of the heavens and the earth, and is strong enough to explode. Longfei loved it, but did not continue refining. This kind of power is enough for him to be cool on this continent, and it will be useless in the future to return to the world. And Longfei, this time has a chance to thoroughly look at this Tongxian ranch. Because several people have been killed, the entire space has begun to become unstable. The vastness of the earth, the power of the sun, the moon, and the stars have become violent, as if they have lost control. Don't you have to collapse again? Longfei is speechless. This Tongxian road is exactly the same as the copy. 1 layer after another. I just didn't expect that the first layer would just collapse. Chapter 4552. Chapter 4552. Somewhere, between the clouds and the sea, there is an endless purple breath in the hustle and bustle, which seems to be a fairyland. Suddenly, a figure suddenly surprised. Is it going to kill the 4 royalties? Is that kid so powerful? Shouldn't it be, the repair of his peak to the peak of the people, can be the opponent of the 4 royalties? Or, is she coming back? The incomparable figure whispered. And by his side, Chu Shanhai, the magic sense Xian, and Zhong Tai Ling shows cautious snuggling on the side, shut up without saying. This person, several people are fighting. I haven't had the spirit of the past. Adult. It shouldn't be that kid. The kid is not weak, but it is stronger than me. It is impossible to be the opponent of 4 adults. Chu Shanhai said with courage. It's too hard to stand. Just a repressed breath, let him have a feeling of trepidation. You can only find an excuse to open your mouth and turn around the emotions of those in front of you. It shouldn't be him. I have seen his power. It is definitely not so powerful. But, the 4 royals are indeed dead. The kind that directly kills the dead, completely disappears, and there is no more between them. The figure continued. Suddenly, a blue light suddenly appeared between the heavens and the earth. The blue light suddenly became the main style of the whole void. But, just for a moment, it disappeared. The face of Chu Shanhai and others changed, and they all felt the horror of this blue light. And the figure in front of me is at this moment. Impossible, how can that thing run out? The figure was shocked, and the whole body was up and down. Terror is incomparable. Even this figure began to fade out, and a strange and unpredictable smell disappeared. Incarnate into a middle-aged man. However, the three people in Chushanhai, while seeing the middle-aged man, immediately fell without warning. The atmosphere does not dare to take a breath. As a kind of worshipping the world, it is extremely humble. But the man did not pay attention, but the constant incitement in his hands variable. Longfei, this is your dog thing. The cat was put out. The middle-aged man is furious. The eyes were burning in anger, and the forehead was violent. Obviously it has reached the edge of the explosion. This time, the Chushanhai three people feel the pressure multiplier, even if they are already on the ground, still feel the horrible power raging above the flesh. It seems like you want to tear them apart. Adult. Adults are forgiving. Adults are angry. The three directly asked for mercy. The middle-aged men in front of them are the insurmountable days of their lives. They don't need to be targeted at all, but they can make them feel uncomfortable. The middle-aged man snorted and the whole body breathed. Looking at it, if it is really the kid who puts that thing out, then the four royals are not opponents. And, with the cat leading the way, it shouldn't be difficult to find it. It seems that it is pushing the plan to open the plan ahead of time. You three, let me go, the middle-aged man said. Then the flash of light in the hand directly opens a star map. The next moment, the middle-aged man stepped into it. The three men met face to face, and then, with a gaze, they went in without hesitation. And all this, Longfei naturally does not know. At this time, Longfei is still in the Tongxian ranch. Before the emptiness of the void, he thought that this space would collapse again, but did not expect that it was the Scorpio with dragon flying and Genmar that had broken through the layer of top-secret space and came down. Ha, kid, how? This adult has long been fierce, and that space can't stop me. Now take me to my host. The figure has not arrived yet. Scorpio has already gotten up. At this time, Longfei and Genmar have apparently been convinced by Scorpio and behind Tianzhu. Longfei licked his mouth. Is there a fart? I have killed 4 bosses and show off. Naive. Longfei said disdain. Even if you know that the identity of Scorpio is not simple, Longfei does not add color. Let a cat force it in front of you? Non-existent, boss? What boss? Scorpio stunned, and then the nose moved. In an instant, the pupil of the Scorpio shrank. You killed 4 royals. Scorpio was horrified, his feet kept moving, and he jumped up and down. A few breaths of time went straight in the void. How did you do it? The 4 royalties are so powerful, how could you kill them? Scorpio said suspiciously. The eyes are full of incredible. Looking up and down, Longfei, his eyes are complicated. Nothing is impossible. So, it's useless to be arrogant in front of Lousy. I heard no. Longfei said. Scorpio is directly dumb. Unsatisfied, with angry eyes flashing blue light, but seeing the eyes of Longfei, but hard to wash their emotions. Aside, Genmar couldn't help but swear, the boss is the boss. Such a strong presence, but also have to bow in front of the boss. Genmar sighed and ushered in the glare of Tianzhu. At this point, Scorpio's eyes looked at Longfei. Don't say that there is nothing, I will ask you, where is my master now? When can I take my owner? Scorpio asked. Directly avoided the topic of collision with Longfei. Because he already understood that in front of Longfei, he could not find any sense of existence. The show is also a white show. However, it is self-deprecating. Longfei looked condensed and looked at Tianzhu. Really, I also want to know where they are. Longfei shrugged his shoulders. In his heart, I don't want to find out more about the night. Now there is no one in this fairyland. It can be said that Tongxian Road has become meaningless now. Before Tianzhu had not yet developed itself, Longfei thought that there was the beginning of Tongxian Road. It seems that it is not at all. Although, the inexplicable piece of Tongxian stone monument is still a mystery, but it has nothing to do with the overall situation. Longfei is too lazy to guess. The biggest possibility is simply to suppress the Scorpio. What Longfei didn't know was that at this time, Tianzhu directly fried hair. What? Boy, dare you play me? The mood of the Scorpio changed, as if it touched the scales in the heart, and was extremely angry. Long Fei did not agree, faintly said, "Although I don't know where your master is now, I can be sure that he has disappeared after entering this piece of Tongxian Road. That is, want to find your master. You must take me and walk the whole road," Long Fei said. What surprised Long Fei was that when his voice just fell, the system sound suddenly appeared in his mind. "Hey, congratulations to the player to start the third stage of the mission, to Kang." Chapter 4553. Chapter 4553. Long Fei's heart is excited. He thought that the second phase of the mission has not yet been completed, and I can't think of the level of the third phase of the mission. To Kang. Killing the sky. Is it still killing the sky? Or killing the sky in the mouth of the sky? Long Fei question mark 3 companies. Mainly the system's 9 or 6 tips are too sloppy, not at all accurate. If it is before, Long Fei will never have such a question. Because he knows, but it is a man. But now, from the mouth of Scorpio, I already know that his master once was the sky. If this task is really related to the Night Child, then do you want to continue? Killed the Night Child? Long Fei asked himself. He couldn't hold this heart. However, the system does not have any other hints. Some of the rules are out of order. The game is also updated regularly, and the system is still the same. It has never changed since the last system reset. Before the end, the system is still changing continuously, just like the update. Among them, the most cherished system for Long Fei is the killing system. But now, the system has never changed. Even if it has been repaired to this point, it still remains unchanged. If the system girl wakes up, it will be fine, at least not so ambiguous about the system task. Long Fei thought of it. But it's fast. When the system sister wakes up, Laro Tzu will open the peak of life. Play the most fierce wilderness, kill the strongest enemy, sleep the most beautiful girl. Long Fei thought, expecting infinitely. But this thought was quickly suppressed by Long Fei. Now, what is really in front of you is the top priority. That is the third stage of the mission. At this time, Scorpio stepped forward and looked at the area in front of him. His look was extremely dignified. This expression, placed on a cat, is very funny. But no way, Long Fei has become accustomed to watching the cat perform in front of himself. You kid, you have been cheated. This is not a pass through the road. Now I already know that this is just the relic of the fall of Xianting. And this area is just the town of Xianting. Scorpio said. For Long Fei, it is directly denied. Palace of the town? A corner of Xianting? There is no Tongxian Road. Long Fei is also a glimpse, and his eyes are full of doubts. Scorpio's identity is unusual, he already knows. Otherwise, the people behind the scenes will not be overwhelmed and suppressed. It is precisely because of this that for the words of Scorpio, there will be doubts. Yes, this adult is extremely certain, this is the corner of Xianting. And, I have already wanted to understand where I used to suppress this adult. There is the middle mezzanine between Xianting and Wanlinghai. Hate, Kang, this old and undead, actually suppressed Laozi there. If it wasn't for the greatness of this great man, he wouldn't know how to die. Tianzhu resented. However, Long Fei has selectively removed the words at this time. According to Tianzhu, this so-called Tongxian Road is the words of Xianting. The shadow of this game has already emerged. Before, Scorpio had not said it again, Kang was a chaotic thief, and he wanted to swear. Then, combined with the present Xianting fall, it is not difficult to guess that all this is just a means of Kang. The purpose of Kang, afraid of being targeted, is also the master of Scorpio. That is the Night Child. It seems that the task has to be put aside first, you have to find them first. Long Fei thought. For the third phase of the mission, the system does not have any strict time limits. If you want to really complete the task, it is the key to find the Night Child. Thinking of this, Long Fei said directly, Scorpio, I am sure that your master must be in this area. Can you perceive it? Long Fei asked. I don't know. You don't know how big Xianting is. This town is a prison, but it is a place to suppress the cholera world. It is the lowest level of immortality. That is to say, here is the lowest level of the whole area. Even if the owner really came here, it is to find the foundation of his own time and look for the power to regain the heavenly position. That should be the center. There is nothing at all here, said Tian Hao. But the eyes are full of endless expectations. Now that you know the position, it is easy to find even if you are looking for it. But nothing, I will lead the way and I will find it soon. This is my back garden. The figure of this adult was everywhere. Scorpio said. Longfei's heart is scorned. But silent. Anyway, this cat has a label in his heart. That is to force a set. It seems that for him, there is no time to force it. Simply put, this is a cat that is not serious. However, Longfei's heart is also certain at this time. After all, since Scorpio is so determined, it can directly save a lot of time. Let's go, this adult will take you to see the old fairy court. The sky is so embarrassing, swaying and swinging out, step out. Longfei shook his head. Master, this goods are good. How do I have an urge to kill him, said Genma. Originally, he was still full of fear of Scorpio. But it is not good. In particular, seeing this attitude toward Longfei is even more unacceptable to his heart. I don't want to endure it at all. Calm, don't pay attention to him. Wait for your master, I will sleep with its owner. He won't dare to be arrogant when he arrives. Longfei said. Behind him, Genma was directly sluggish for a minute, as if the brain was short-circuited. But in a flash, it was a big laugh. Then, quickly catch up with the pace of Longfei. In a blink of an eye, time passed 2 days. In 2 days, the waves were not shocked. It seems that with the death of the 4 royals, here is a falling fairy. Nothing at all. Any danger no longer exists. This kind of encounter made Longfei feel very uncomfortable. Originally, I was planning to madly collect a wave of experience. Now it seems that it is impossible. However, the 2 days are not nothing. At least, under the leadership of Scorpio, all the way is like a broken bamboo, directly into the hinterland of Xianting. And in front of the scene, let Longfei not only scream. Very vast. Despite the ruin, the wreckage of the broken arm that is everywhere is still revealing infinite light. It is conceivable that Xianting, which has not been defeated, is in full swing. But at this time, Scorpio stopped directly. I feel it. Master. The owner is really here. Ha ha ha, the master has come back. I know that with the thing of Kang, even if he is arrogant, it is impossible to really let the master fall. Tianzhu excited. Chapter 45-54. Chapter 45-54. Longfei's eyes are also a condensation. At this moment, he also felt the unusualness of the land in front of him. This feeling makes Longfei feel very familiar, but can't say where it was encountered. This feeling. Everything in front of me is extremely strange. Longfei can be sure that he has never been to this place. However, I don't know why, I always feel like myself, as if I have been there before. The atmosphere in front of me was too strange, and let Longfei feel an invisible pressure to suppress in my heart. Very vast. It is hard to describe. It is like a feeling of towering. Even if a person is stronger, he will feel small. Ha ha ha, do you feel it? This is the atmosphere of my master. Is this the strength of my master? How? Do you feel that you are very small? Tell you, my master is heaven. Scorpio is very proud, and his eyes are full of madness. It seems that for a long time, I finally found a sense of existence in front of Longfei. Let him can't help but want to show off. Let the dragon fly down. Yes, he thought it was too simple. Who is Longfei? Will you care about this? All the worlds have fought in the world, and the kings of the heavens have killed the dogs and chickens. Will it be humbled by a kind of oppression? Non-existent. Oh, you think too much. I have experienced countless planes. The so-called heaven is just a category defined by people who are highly educated. Again, the gods of the gods have killed me. Do you think I will be afraid? And when the dragon flies at the corner of his mouth, there is a smile. Just, didn't say it. But the expression is to squint at the sky. Scorpio is directly forced. And what? Scorpio asked. Nothing, you will know when you get there, Longfei said. But no explanation. Sometimes, the words are too clear, but not beautiful. At this time, in the front, a figure suddenly appeared. Not who can be a white deer. However, at this time, the white deer is somewhat wrong, and the whole person directly said that it is impossible to describe it. The white deer before entering the entrance to Tongxian Road is only the first time to be repaired. But now, Longfei can't see through. You must know that Longfei is now a super successful 8-day, just repairing, it has already surpassed the return of the world. But now I can't see the white deer, which means that the repair of the white deer is at least already on the bottom. At this time, Genma is also shocked. This is the kid. How is it possible that his cultivation may advance to such an extent? Impossible. It's too unreasonable, Genma said. Completely shocked. During this period of time, the infinite killing made him feel that his power is becoming more and more tyrannical. It was still smug. But now I can see the white deer, completely gone. Only one pot of cold water was poured in an instant. Also at this time, the white deer has slowly moved toward the dragon. Boss. The white deer said to Longfei, his eyes are extremely complicated. However, this boss is extremely sincere and has not changed before. Longfei's heart is loose. Very pleased. Originally, he thought that the white deer would change because of the cultivation, or that he knew something about it. The relationship between them would change. But now, from the attitude of the white deer can be seen. As originally, the red is still. Yes, I can't think of it for a few days. Your repairs have already reached this level. Have you recovered your memory? Longfei asked. I don't think the boss has already guessed it. I just thought about how to explain it. Said the white deer. Explain what? You are my brother, I want to believe you. Longfei said. Since it has been identified, there will be no doubt. Well, thank you, boss. But there is something to tell you. Said the white deer, his eyes hesitated. What's wrong? Longfei asked. In fact, there is nothing about it. It is about big brothers. Said the white deer. The look also became extremely dignified. Night child. Longfei glimpsed, and immediately looked at the depths. Intuition tells him that the things that white deer wants to say must be related to the night. Boss, in fact, I think if you can, don't tie up with her. His identity is a bit complicated. And, here is not what Tongxian Road, the so-called Tongxian Road, is just a scam. How long will it take? Here is fear that there will be a big battle, you will not be able to fight. I can cast you away, and by the means of the boss, there will be no one can keep you in the mainland. Said, very heavy. What are you talking about? Is Longfei the kind of person who gives up the brother and gives up the woman? As for her identity, I don't have to say that I already know that at most, it is the supreme ruler of Tongxian mainland, the master of Xianting, right? Longfei said. Poor language, with a bit of atmosphere. He is not the atmosphere that will be the white deer's distrust of him, but the atmosphere will let the white deer leave him. He has been violent, killed, wounded, hurt, and died. He is not afraid of it. Control who you are, do not accept it. Moreover, it is related to his brother, let Longfei withdraw himself? Impossible. I saw the white deer, I didn't expect Longfei's reaction to be so big. Boss, I am just. The white deer is open to the language, but he has not spoken yet and is directly interrupted by Longfei. War? Are you talking about the man called Kang? If it is him, I don't have to retire. Because I have been in this world since he started, he is a person who will kill. Longfei said. Up to now, Longfei has long known that he entered the world from the Sea of Stars and has an inevitable connection with Kang. The system task, now in the third stage, is also very likely to be Kang. Therefore, no matter from any angle, Longfei is impossible to retreat. At this point, the white deer is looking at Longfei with a look of horror. He knows that Longfei is unusual, especially after restoring the memory, he can feel the speciality of Longfei. However, even if he did not think that Long Fei had already been involved with Kang. Oh, it seems that everything is doomed. In this case, then our brothers will join hands and do him, said the white deer. This is right, I will never abandon my brother, and I will never be jealous. I will control who he is, and he will do it. Long Fei mouth smiled and said. Then, the words turn, however, should I tell me now, what is your identity? Long Fei asked. The white deer took a deep breath and looked at Long Fei with a dignified look. Boss, I am actually a grave guard. Chapter 45-55. Chapter 45-55 Keep the grave. Or before the ages. In the words of the white deer, Long Fei is in a state of procrastination. Shake the white deer gently. This is a bit complicated, and it involves a period of history before the immortal world. Since the boss knows the existence of Kang, and has conquered the cat, the 6-6 should have speculated about what happened in the past. In a nutshell, Kang Tutian, I keep the tomb. That's it. Said the white deer. It seems to be caught in a history of sleep. As the years of darkness and heaviness, at this time, it is also a sad face. Contact various species, Long Fei has guessed. Tu Tian. Keep the tomb? Long Fei glimpsed. It is impossible to form a picture in my mind. Although the white deer said it is simple, but the history contained in it is afraid of being extremely dark. Yeah boss, the thief is heart-wrenching, trying to control the fate of thousands of people. If it wasn't for a person who appeared in the past, he would turn the tide and build a tomb for the heavens, casting a turn back. I am afraid that now, Kang has completely controlled the mainland. There is no such thing as it is now. I am able to survive, to rebuild the military, and because of the means of that person. Said the white deer, but also with a few fortunate. Who? Long Fei suddenly burst into the heart and asked. Instinct, the first thing that emerged in the mind of Long Fei was Longbation. For a moment, Long Fei felt that all his mind was mobilized. No way, Longbation is like a dog-skin plaster, sticking to his body, and the layout is far away. No matter how he gets rid of it, he never breaks away from the shadow of the dragon. It's a woman. Said the white deer. Woman? Long Fei glimpsed. But my heart is relaxed. No matter who it is, as long as it is not a dragon, it will do. Yes, after the woman came, she turned the tide and smashed Kang and others away from one space. Then she applied the great magic to the snow of the Lord of the Immortal, and then cast the reincarnation channel, so that the Lord of the Immortal reincarnation was rebuilt. The white deer said, with a few minutes in his eyes, it seems that he still can flash through the original picture. So powerful. Long Fei was shocked. I immediately thought of the goddess of the great sun. According to Jiang Chuanqiu, the goddess of the great Yang dynasty once entered the infinite star sea. However, in a flash, Long Fei denied his guess. The timeline is simply not right. The goddess of the great Yang dynasty entered this area, and it was not too long to calculate from the Wanjie. Therefore, it is impossible to be her. It's just awesome. It's just violent. Really boss, I think even if you are, you will feel amazing to the woman. Said the white deer. Long Fei is not allowed. Did not say too much. The heavens are boundless, and the strong are countless. Long Fei also never thinks that he is invincible. But his path has always been moving in the direction of invincibility. No matter who it is, he can't stop him. However, the next sentence of the white deer, but let the dragon fly in the heart, suddenly gave birth to a kind of mother who did not know when to talk about him properly. Boss, this is why I advised you to give up the amnesty in front of me. When the woman cast the reincarnation channel, she said that when the main round of Xianting returns, she will become her daughter-in-law. Cough, so boss, anyway, I see that you don't have a deep relationship with her now, it's better. Said the white deer. Obviously, the jealousy of the woman in his mouth is deep. Long Fei slightly frowned. Has not yet opened, Jianma has said, bastard kid, how, when you restored your previous cultivation and memory, you become embarrassed? Are you not lawless? Now you have to push the owner's woman out. Do you want to die? Jianma is very angry. Apparently, I think that everything that white deer said now is very complicated. You know a fart from a beast. The white deer glanced at the billed horse. Looking at Longfei again, I am obviously looking forward to Longfei accepting his own advice. But is it possible? The woman he identified can be handed over? Non-existent. Unless it is the night child, there is no such idea, otherwise no matter who it is impossible to let Longfei compromise. Looking at the face of Longfei, the white deer, already know the answer, helplessly sigh. At this time, Longfei's eyes suddenly looked at the white deer. Since you have said this, then that is, the night child is the former lord of Xianting? Longfei asked. There is some excitement between the faint hearts. The dream has come true. A generation of female emperors, the master of Xianting. As a result, Longfei is even less likely to let go. Well, if everything goes well, Daxi is the lord of Xianting. The white deer said, his face suddenly became heavy. A dragonfly, what do you mean? Longfei asked. The sound just fell. The picture of Longfei's mind flashed, and the second personality of the night's fascination suddenly emerged in his mind, as well as the black-faced nightmare that was seen under the darkness of the dark mysterious sect, and a fluster was born in his heart. All the best. If it doesn't go well, it won't be the return, right? Longfei asked urgently. And the white deer is also a miserable smile. Boss, this is why I advise you. This reincarnation seems to be somewhat unusual. Originally, I wanted to divide the 3 corpses in one world. After returning, I will integrate the power of Xianting and return to the peak. I didn't expect that 3 corpses were divided into 3. And Daxi is the 3rd world, and it is also a good corpse among the 3 corpses. Even the body carries the first ID. Now, the 3 have already fought each other in front of the source of Xianting left on the same day. Said the white deer, a helpless face. No matter which one is now, it is not what he can provoke. He is a grave guard. But listening to the dragon flying mouth, but it is not happy. 3 corpses, fighting? If you say so, is it dangerous now? Longfei's forehead wrinkled and said quietly, relatively speaking, Dalit should be the least competitive one. But there is no way. This kind of thing can only be done by themselves. We can't help anyone. Otherwise, it may affect the power after her return. Said the white deer, a helpless face. But Longfei can't bear it. As for the impact after returning, he does not care. Without a word, I turned directly to the central location. Boss will open the white deer, but see Longfei's perseverance, direct reception. Kid, the master's temper, you still don't understand, the owner can decide what can stop. Jianma also took the white deer at this time. Only Scorpio, at this time is a face dissatisfaction. Kid, what do you want to do? Do you want to interfere with my master's return? Asked Tianga. Jumping straight, directly in front of Longfei. Chapter 4556. Chapter 4556 Wan Yuanjia, under the starry field of endless fire. Jojo stood in the flames, his eyes staring at the void. Extremely lonely. Even if it is an endless flame, you can't let your face burn like a fire. Hey, husband, where are you? Jojo whispered in his mouth. She is the only one who has watched Longfei fall into the endless sea of stars. For everyone, she has told me. After the people in the Long Ting were taken to the Phoenix Valley, they were closed. No matter who asks, it just means that Longfei will retreat in a secret environment and will return when he breaks the limit. But what she didn't know was that her mind, such as Liu Luoshi Yuru and others, had already seen the clues. Especially they are all people who know Longfei plans. Just to stabilize the people, no one ever asked. Just because they firmly believe that Longfei will return safely. Jojo, rest assured, my husband has come all the way. How many evil places have come over? This time, there will be no accidents. Suddenly, Jojo heard a voice in his ear and suddenly turned around. He was seeing Liu Luoxi, Yuru, Oya, and Hongqiu. You guys. Jojo was surprised. I didn't expect a few people to suddenly appear. Jojo, actually we all know. However, we also believe that my husband will be able to return safely. Moreover, I have a hunch, and soon my husband will come back. Liu Luoshi said. Jojo's eyes flashed in tears, but he finally endured it. Yes, Longfei brother will be safe and sound. But at this time, a loud bang suddenly appeared in the sky above the Phoenix Valley. Everyone's face changed. Is it that the people of Zuanjie are attacking? Liu Luo Creek said. For a time, everyone's face became extremely embarrassing. No, no. This is not to attack the Phoenix Valley, but to announce the world. This is the ancestral power of Kirin, Jojo said, his eyes are very incomparable. She has already gained the power of Yuan Feng, so she is most sensitive to this level of strength. What is Kirin Zhu Li, Jojo? Asked Yuro. At the beginning of the heavens and the earth, the three groups of dragon and phoenix unicorns are in the world. I have got the power of the phoenix before, and now this power is the power of Kirin. Jojo said solemnly. That should have no effect on us. Yuro frowned and thought about another result. But Jojo shook his head. If a person who is a unicorn has received this power, it will not be too influential. But if this person is a respected person? Jojo said. Suddenly, a dead silence. I am going to retreat. I am striving to bring the strength left by my husband to the extreme. Liu Luoshi said. I am coming too. Me too. Several people have said one after another. In the blink of an eye, only Jojo was left in the field. Husband, come back soon. No gods and vulgarity. After finishing, Jojo's figure has not entered the endless fire. At this time, among the honors, Zun is also staring at the incomparably huge unicorn on the void. Shentian. There is a lot of respect. Ha ha ha, respect the adults, I have got the unicorns. Now my strength has reached the peak of this world. I feel that as long as I think in my heart, if I punch down, I will be able to destroy countless worlds and endless stars. Above the void, Shen Tian said lightly. The face of respectfulness has changed slightly. Looking coldly at Shen Tian, what? This is the reason why you see this place without paying respect, said Zun. The sound is unusually cold. Obviously, I was extremely dissatisfied with Shen Tian's attitude at this time. Shen Tian glimpsed slightly, his eyes frowned, and his eyes became a straight line. You Zun. To the extent that you and me do not care about these details? Shen Tian said. This statement is out, above the honor, countless people are full of anger in the eyes. Look to the void, let's go. Shen Tian, don't forget, your life is given by adults. Not an adult, you are a dead dog. So even if you are alive now, you are also a running dog for adults. What are the qualifications to make irresponsible remarks in front of adults? Suddenly, someone said. That is, don't look at what you are. Even if you are a foreigner, you are just a dog. Now come to Zuanjie, the tail still wants to go up to the sky. Do not sneak in the urine to take care of yourself. Damn thing. One after another. The people of Zuanjie are from me. Beyond the respect of the world, they are all ants. At this time, even the ancient world is a non-influential existence before their respectful interface. This level, obeying them as a dog is already a supreme honor. Now, with a little strength, they dare to show their fangs, and they can't let them tolerate. Not to mention them, even if they are respectful, this time is also a look of anger. Watching Shentian said, do you think that you can get arrogant in front of the deity when you get the unicorn ancestral force? Shentiani stunned, watching the calm and incomparable at this time, the brain spinning rapidly. Why can he be so calm? Is it true that Kirin's Zhu Li is not enough? Impossible, Kirin Zhu Li is so powerful, why can he not move? What kind of reliance does he have? In an instant, Shen Tian's mind flashed countless possibilities. Finally, a heavy bow. Shen Tian does not dare. Shen Tian's life is given by Yu Zun. Even if Shen Tian is cultivated to be stronger, it is impossible to rebel. Shen Tian bowed his head and directly recognized it. In the face of such indifferent respect, there is no courage to resist. Oh, you know. Fortunately, you know each other, otherwise, the deity can make you born again, and it can make you die. First shut down and stabilize the power. After a day, the deity will let you return to the ancient world, conquer the ancient world, and once again dominate. Zun said. And Xiantian, at this time, his eyes lit up, followed by a light of hatred, breeding in his eyes. The picture turns again and returns to Longfei. At this time, Longfei's face is already the hinterland of Xianting. Kid, stand up, if you dare to go forward, even if you die, I will stop you. The first time I was worried. Although he has never been transformed into a giant, the power of the whole body has begun to burst. It is Longfei, and the brow is also a wrinkle. However, it is impossible to let Longfei retreat. Get out. I am saving your master. And, do you think you can stop me with the present? Longfei said that the footsteps were once again moving, and they passed through the Scorpio directly in one step. They directly avoided the power of Scorpio and turned a blind eye. Kid. You are deceiving too much. Do you know what you are doing? If you interfere with the normal return of the master, then there is no hope in this world. The sky screamed and said. And Longfei, the footsteps are also a meal at this time. Chapter 45-57. Chapter 45-57. Heaven and earth are hopeless. A sentence so heavy can be said from the people of Tianzhu, who only show the sense of existence, Longfei simply cannot imagine. What do you mean? In the understanding of Longfei, the night of the child is now the struggle between the three existences. In the end, it is the dominance of a dominant power. Who wins, and Juliu can take the lead. The other two exist, they will be completely annihilated, and the final one will be completed. Therefore, no matter who wins, the final strength is achieved, and after integration, the same height can be achieved. Therefore, Longfei does not think that there is any impact. But the reaction of Scorpio is too strong. Everything is destined for the number of days. Can manpower interfere? I also heard the words of the people who kept the tomb. I am afraid that you still don't know. Keeping the tomb is actually associated. That is to say, the Master 3 rebuilt, he will wake up again and again. Then re-enter the world with the Master's re-education. You know what this is? Tianyi asked solemnly. Why? Longfei also took it seriously. Because this is fate. His responsibility is to take the eyes of all beings in the process of companionship, and provide an absolutely safe environment for the peace of mind of the Master, lest the identity of the Master be perceived by the mind. If I didn't make a mistake, this little talent of this kid is extremely amazing. No matter where it is a very dazzling existence, in order to cover the Master's edge, and it is convenient for the owner to secretly get his own strength. Said. Longfei glimpsed a little and saw the white deer. This is really the case. The first two worlds did not know that this world will be a deer of the second ancestor. In the mountains and seas, it is even more rampant. In the imagination, in addition to the long outstanding, the night child is really no place for talent. What about that? If you want to shoot with me, is there a conflict? Longfei asked. Of course, I just said, it's all days. Everything is doomed. Even if all the plans of Kang are determined by the number of days, the Master has already expected it. So I was easily framed and suppressed. I was unwilling, though resentful, but I know that this is doomed. So, when the Master returns, who should be the leader, who is it, only in this way, can defeat Kang, bring order out of chaos, and return to the right track. Tian Hao said with a look of awe. There is a big for justice, and he will sacrifice his expression. Unfortunately, he does not understand Longfei. The number of days, in the eyes of Longfei, never believed. He only believes in himself. I don't believe what is doomed at all. Therefore, even if the Scorpio said that the big meaning is stunned, Longfei will not move. What about that? If I shoot, how can the number of days be? What fate? What number of days? I only believe in myself, I am destined by me, and I will hold my destiny in my palm. As for you saying that you are defeating Kang, I can do it, so I only hope that the one I want will lead. Longfei said indifferently. But the more so, the more able to show the disdain and contempt of Longfei. All of a sudden, the eyes of Scorpio are filled with fear. You are too arrogant. It is impossible for someone to reverse the number of days. You are trying to test the law. You will die. The slang language is incoherent and directly threatened by the violentness of Longfei. It is simply lawless. The number of days, a force above the sky. Even if he was the same, he did not dare to touch this mysterious existence. However, Longfei, at the moment, is full of disdain in his speech, and he does not care at all. You don't dare, don't mean I have to be afraid. The white deer will stop him. If you dare to move, directly stun, don't give me face. Longfei said softly. After that, after turning around, abandoned Tianzhu step by step into the center of Xianting. At the rear, Scorpio is about to open, and a figure has appeared beside him. It is the white deer. Put a white deer with a hand knife directly. When Tianzhu didn't have time to react, he fainted directly. The white deer also indifferently shrugged his shoulders. My boss said, don't be polite with him. Anyway, you are the owner's pet sooner or later, said the white deer. His eyes once again looked into the dragonfly in the fairy court. Boss, I can do my best. Even if it is the last failure, I will be with you. Even if you fight this life, you will not hesitate. However, this sentence, Longfei naturally cannot hear. At this time, in the heart of Longfei, only the night child is charming. In any case, he will never let the night child under normal conditions be swallowed up by the power of the other two. There is only one he wants. The closer you are, the more you can feel the sturdy and powerful atmosphere. Very incomparably, just as I have perceived before. It is like heaven. The power of a strong and powerful, if the leaves of the sisters hate to become the master of Xianting, still not one step through the sky? Longfei thought. As for the extent to which it can be achieved, Longfei did not consider it. But no matter how strong, Longfei's woman will never let go. One thought of this, Longfei thought of a sinking, the power of creation, directly in the whole body, and then step by step, into the center of this power. At this time, in the center of this Xianting, the three figures are standing on top of the three green lotuses. However, the three green lotuses are also different. Xingyi's knight is on the top of the knight, and the lotus opens 6 items. And the white knight singer and the black knight singer, but it is the lotus open 9 products. When Longfei's eyes turned, he directly knew the identity of the 3 people. Xingyi night child is sweet, just good. Black clothes are evil, and white clothes are self. The situation at hand is also conceivable. The most delicious dish of my body, only the refining and support of 6 products. It is an absolute disadvantage among the 3. Similarly, at this time, the 3 also noticed the dragon flying into. Kid, it's you. The Black Knight screamed coldly. Is it a fool to keep the grave? Is it going to let people come in at this time? Black Knight singer anger and endless, watching Longfei figure, naturally thought of the experience in the dark Shen Morzong, suddenly killing. And the white dress knight is also a look of suspiciousness. Impossible, even if he has a good relationship with this world tomb, it is impossible to come here. In white, I am fascinated by the knight, and I have always lived in the body of my good knight, so I have some understanding of Longfei. But at this time, my will is more rational, and the key to breaking things directly. Well, yes, this place is just outside of time and space. Even if Kang can't get in, how did you come in? I said with a cold night. Longfei glimpsed some doubts. Isn't this just Xianting? Isn't it a falling fairy court? Is it still outside of time? Forced 3. The face that was directly asked by 2 people was aggressive. Chapter 45-58. Chapter 45-58. Longfei also realized that he was unusual and looked at Xingyi's knight. It seems to be asking. Since you can get here, you must tell the white deer that you will know. But in fact, he himself does not know that Xianting here has been moved beyond the time and space by the law of the year. It is precisely because of this that Kang cannot enter this. Night Child Mai explained. Longfei's heart is also a town. But I also understand why the night of the child and the evil, I will be so shocked. I was brought in by Scorpio, perhaps because of the special ability of Scorpio. Longfei explained. Did not say too much. In his opinion, This road is walking with the sky, and did not feel any abnormalities. However, what he did not think was that the voice had just fallen. Evil, my night child, directly retorted, that cat? Impossible, the means of the arrangement can also come out with a cat. I said coldly and coldly. In the eyes, full of misery. A face stared at the dragon with caution. She once had an intersection with Longfei, and also saw that Longfei was unusual. In addition, Longfei could come here at this time, which refreshed her understanding of Longfei. I think that Longfei is very likely to interfere with myself. At this time, Longfei is also slightly indulged. In my mind, I was thinking about it in madness. In the end, it was a mistake. However, no matter what he thinks, all the experiences on the way are repeated in his mind, and no abnormalities have been discovered. I don't even know when I have entered this place outside of time and space. Is it calculated again? Longfei thought of it. The eyes turn around the void and want to find clues. But everything is calm, and there is no way to find it. At this time, Bai Yi's night child suddenly said, Longfei, no matter how you come, I just want to know the purpose of your visit here, and how? White clothes are charming, it is the body of the self, very rational. Just like the avatar that you used to go, there is only pure cultivation instinct. But obviously, the night of the child, I care more about something. Chasing is a kind of limit and reason. There is absolutely no feeling at all. Therefore, in this case, the focus of the problem is directly poked. Longfei heart also received it back. I almost forgot about business. Longfei's heart was moving, and his eyes looked at the three knights. I came, naturally, to make my woman the leader between you. Longfei said indifferently. An understatement is like saying a trivial thing. However, as soon as this statement came out, the three were all changed. Why? Not self-reliant. No, you can't interfere with Longfei, the number of days has been fixed, and the interference is not allowed. The three opened at the same time. Undoubtedly, the last sentence is what is good for me. As for the other two, it is simply not the case. I think that Longfei is trying to force it, even looking for death. Completely disdain. It's a big joke. Throughout the ages, even in my peak period, I have to follow the number of days and lead the sentient beings. Why? Is it true that you are doing it in the realm of truth? It is a joke. I am a child with a look of indifference. It's just looking for death. Let's take a step back and say, even if you don't say the number of days, do you think that you can get started with your current cultivation? We are now drawing on the power of their own creations. As long as they will absorb the power of his Tianlian, the district will return to the truth, and in front of me is the ants. I am fascinated by the night. Also don't put Longfei in your eyes. Ling Fei slightly decapitated, his eyes became indifferent. Yeah, Longfei, they said it is good, although you are rude, but the number of days. Good, my knight, and I also dissuaded. There are also fluctuations in the eyes. After all, Longfei can be so reckless, and come here with a crisis of collision. She has been very touched. Shut up. What days? What kind of days does Lao's woman get in the round? I want you to survive and become dominant, and you will definitely do it. Even if the number of days comes, it is the same. Longfei directly interrupted the knight. Number of days? The number of days of shit. No one can stop the things he has to do. But at this time, the whole space suddenly disappeared. The change is sudden. Just as time is still, the light curtains are flowing, breaking the void barrier and coming down. At night, Mai Zun's body was moving, and his eyes suddenly looked at the void. The same is true for Longfei, and the mind is also cautious. The gaze directly locks the void is her. The adult has appeared again. Ha ha ha, seeing no dragon flying, no need for days, the layout of adults in the past, just for now, adults have already appeared, is not you can intervene? Evil me and my own night child, a look in the eyes kind of respect. Turning to Longfei, it is even more ironic. And Longfei, but the heart is inexplicable. Looking at the void, the figure that gradually emerged, the whole person suddenly became loose, and even the breathing became extremely urgent. It is as if there is some inexplicable involvement between himself and the figure in the void. It seems that the soul is in harmony, and the bones are connected. Not impossible. How can this feeling happen? Who are you? Longfei's eyes were extremely eager, and he endured the excitement in his heart and said. At this time, above the void, the figure is becoming more and more obvious, but it still gives people a feeling of embarrassment. It's like not being in a time or space at all. Dragon, you are arrogant. Can you figure out the identity of an adult? Don't you be so disrespectful. Evil, my night child, directly opened to stop Longfei. The eyes are full of urgency. Longfei, I advise you to retire. Since the adults have already appeared, then today, I only have to return to become inevitable. Only when I re-enter the Xianting, can we bring the chaos out of chaos, kill the cells and complete the layout of the adults. Zimai also said. Only me, I don't say a word at this time. Because she knows that since the people who laid out the layout have already appeared, it must be harvested. With oneself, there is no chance of winning. Look at Longfei, at this time, for a few people, if you have not heard of it. Eyes staring at the void. Who are you? With a deep sigh, Longfei then asked. Intuition tells him that the person behind the scene behind Xianting is absolutely related to him. This feeling is indescribable and subtle. It is like being between the blood and the flesh, let Longfei instinctively want to be close. At this time, above the void, a figure finally broke the endless shackles and became solid. However, in the moment when this figure fell, it was straight to the dragon. A force swept through and directly wrapped Longfei in it. Chapter 45:59. Chapter 45:59. The world is suddenly quiet. The figure of Longfei seems to have never appeared before. Dragon fly. Good, my knight, a sigh of relief. There was great sorrow in the eyes, and the whole person's look was dimmed at once, so if it was to fight. In and of itself, she does not have any advantage. If it is not the belief of the 96, the fear is that there is no courage to compete with the two. Until Longfei appeared, her heart was no longer calm. So she wants to fight once. But now, she hasn't started yet, but Longfei has already suffered. Directly let her heart collapse, fighting all lost. On the other hand, I am fascinated by the knight and my evil knight. I saw that Longfei was directly targeted by people above the void and disappeared on the spot. Look at each other. At the same time, my eyes are fixed on the body of my good knight. Now, there is no possibility of goodness and goodness. How do you finally belong to this? There are only two of you and me. Between you and me, is it a fusion of this kind of Qinglian? Is it a battle? I am fascinated by the knight. The tone is extremely dull. It seems that the appearance of Longfei is only a small episode for her, and it is irrelevant and irrelevant. Of course, after the war, this power can only belong to me. You are too weak, and you don't want to be a soldier. You can't come out. Only absolute power can control everything and sit on the truth. In the past, I was rebelled by the conspiracy, and I died. If it weren't for adults to cast a reincarnation channel, I was afraid that we would not even have the chance to come back. You don't want revenge, I think. You don't want to kill him, I think. So, you only have to fulfill me to wash the humiliation of this three. Night child Mei Qiang said. The third world refers to the body of her third life. Every world has to go through tens of thousands of years, even tens of thousands of years of practice. Therefore, hatred has already taken root in his heart. Moreover, coupled with the body of evil thoughts, it is born to be led by evil, for the purpose, to use whatever means. You have been tainted by sin, if you become the lord of the immortal, the sin of life. How long will it take for the whole world to become a world of evil? You want to be the final one, it is impossible. I am also a child to say. The body smells the same, and I am against the night. It seems that for this ultimate vesting, it is bound to be. As for the good night, my child was directly taken to the side and directly ignored by the two. And the goodness of my night, I seem to be unwilling to fight. Just eyes, staring above the void, seems to be looking for the dragon-flying figure. At this time, in the void, if the dragon flies in the long river of time and space, the scene around him swiftly rotates. It's like a frame-by-frame picture. Long Fei reached out and wanted to capture, but found that everything was just a phantom, and it was impossible to reach. Long Fei is extremely wrong. This means, even if he controls the system, he feels extremely magical. When I think of it, Long Fei's heart is even more amazing. Who is this person? Why should I bring myself here? At this time, a figure appeared silently in front of Long Fei. In an instant, the dragon flies like Meng Lesion. The brain roars. Not terrified, not wrong, but excited. The feeling of being above the heart has resurfaced, and this time it is more direct. Long Fei can even feel that his lacrimal gland is loosening and the softness of his heart is touched. At this moment, Long Fei felt that his body was soft, and all his thoughts disappeared at this moment. Long Fei's eyes were red, and his hands could not stop shaking. Even the corners of the mouth have been unable to control the tremor. A word has also reached the throat. But Long Fei. It is difficult to open. How many midnight dreams, Long Fei has seen this face. How many days and nights turn around, on the verge of suffering, there is a voice in the encouragement to go to the blood. How many times between death and death, this belief in persistence, let myself come over. The emotion of Long Fei has reached the edge of collapse. Not for the other, just because of this double face that appears in front of your own eyes. In the same way, the figure standing in front of Long Fei is constantly shaking, and the hands like illusions slowly extend to Long Fei. Flying. A soft voice appeared. The voice is sobbing, full of endless vicissitudes. It's just 2 words, but it contains endless thoughts. If you have already branded this name on the traces of life, it is extremely heavy. Long Fei stepped back and rolled his heart. Long Fei opened his mouth and said nothing. But it stuck directly in the throat. I can't say a word. Once innumerable times, Long Fei dreamed of meeting scenes. I once imagined how I would do it when I met. But now, the real meeting, but it has become very confused. Finding everything you thought about before is simply talking about paper. See you in the same place, silently, only thinking about catharsis. Yes, this person is the mother of Long Fei Nightmare. Child, you have suffered. The aunt said, and both hands tried hard to hold the dragonfly, but at this time, there was nothing to do. Because at this time, she did not come with the technique, and there was no entity. No, I am not working hard. As long as I wait until this day, even if I suffer more, I will be willing. Then you. Where is it now? Long Fei said quickly. Forcibly suppress the excitement of your heart. He can naturally see it, even now the aides can use some means. But standing in front of you is by no means true. Children, wait, no matter how long, the mother can break through this layer of time and space, when it is time for our family to reunite. The aunt said. In the eyes of the aunt, the tears flashing, watching Long Fei distressed. I want to reach out and wipe my tears for my mother, but I can't touch it at all. A family reunion? Yes, a family reunion. Long Fei said firmly. The eyes are full of heat. Because of this sentence, it is also the dream that he hopes for many years. But change, Long Fei's face changed. But I am becoming the king of the ancient world, and after destroying the mysterious family, I did not feel the smell of my father. Long Fei said. The eyes are also full of self-blame. When he first took control of the ancient world for a month, Long Fei had also inquired many times, but in the end he was sure that the Xian family had died, but there was no news of his father. It is like the evaporation of humans. Children, don't blame yourself. Your father naturally has his own creation. And the ancient world is not as simple as you think. You have to remember that the king of the world is not purely a right and status. And now, at most, you only control the ancient world. There is still a distance from the real king of the ancient world. But I will talk about it later. Now, let me help you with your daughter-in-law, the aunt said. Chapter 4560. Chapter 4560 Daughter-in-law. A dragon flies. In my mind, I suddenly thought of what I said before the white deer. The heart suddenly warmed up. I wipe, feeling, I am the son of the invincible strong. Night Child is the daughter-in-law who looked for me. Longfei looked at the front of his eyes and loved the foreman, and the dragon flew in his heart. Before I heard the white deer said, Longfei's heart was still angry and felt that this kind of person who directly gave the night to the default was very hateful. But now, I didn't expect it. The initiator of all this is actually his own mother. That. Niang, you shouldn't have long been concerned that there will be an intersection between me and the Night Child. Longfei asked. Naturally, I also shouted the name. All beginnings are hard. Although the mystery of these years is mysterious, I am always helping myself. I have left a means for myself in multiple planes to face myself. Whether it is killing the god's White House or the later goddess summoning, etc., are the opportunities that the mother left for him. Big love is not necessarily a daily companion, more hidden invisible. Longfei's heart has long been relieved, knowing that his mother is also involuntarily. So I only miss in my heart. But what he didn't expect was that the aunt's body was a meal, and then the whole body began to twitch. Flying. The curtains were crying. There are trembling in the figure. Parents, who do not want their children to be safe and secure, well-being. But the only thing she did was to give Longfei a life. Longfei struggled all his life and lived in endeavor and suffering. As the mother of Longfei, her heart has collapsed countless times, and she wants to break through all the darkness and protect Longfei behind her. Especially watching Longfei in the conspiracy of Shen Emperor, again and again to the edge of sudden death. Her heart is more like a knife. However, she is more aware that Longfei's life is doomed. If she forced her shot, it would interfere with the normal development of Longfei. Therefore, I can only hold back. Today, Longfei has finally grown to the extent that she is proud of her, and she can rest assured. However, this late mother-in-law is still letting her inner thoughts and tenderness erupt. Longfei looked at the curtain of the heartache who was crying in front of her eyes, and it was a pain in her heart. Full of panic, it is like a child doing something wrong. Mother, don't cry, isn't it all right now? Now my cultivation is strong enough that no one can separate us. Mother, you Longfei panicked a batch. He is a girl, but he is the first time. I don't know where to start. Fortunately, the aunt is not a man of temperament, but he is also a big means, and all the winds and waves have already seen it. After a brief embarrassment, I endured the excitement in my heart. Yes, you are right, whether it is you, your mother, or your father. The goal we always strive to be is to break away from the clouds that are suppressed on our heads, a family reunion, and never separate. The curtain said. Longfei also suddenly nodded, and his eyes were very strong. If you say that Longfei pursues the invincible road in his life, then this result is definitely the most beautiful expectation. The aunts felt the change of the atmosphere on the dragon's body, and the face was gratified and said, "But now, let's go back first. Otherwise, the daughter-in-law who gave it to you, I don't know which body is dominant." The aunt said. Longfei is also waking up. Yes, for a while, they must have started a fight. Longfei said quickly. For the Night Child, Longfei is most concerned about the goodness of me. I am tall and unparalleled, and I am wicked, not at all. So there is nothing to consider at all. It must be to protect me. Reassured, there are mothers, they can't afford the wind. The aunt said. Then, with both hands moving, the picture floating in front of the scene was opened, and the door of the void was opened. Longfei first stepped forward and stepped straight out. Just entering Xianting at the center. At this time, I am fascinated by the night, and my Night Child has already been beaten. The power of the road bursts, and the entire Xianting has become messy. If it is not now that Xianting has been moved by his own mother to the time and space, it is afraid that it has already attracted the attention of outsiders. With the advent of Longfei, the two instinctively stopped the attack and looked at Longfei with an incredible look. And Longfei, but did not care. Also need not. Their lives and deaths are all controlled by one's own thoughts. Mother has been laying out for so many years, and if there is no means to control it, Longfei will not believe it. Therefore, this matter has long been a staple. Who can stay and who can stay? Are you okay? Longfei came to the side of the good knight, and whispered. Dragon. You are fine. Great. Let's go. You should not interfere with the things here, leave here, and then find opportunities to leave the world. Good night, my said. The face is full of surprises. As if I saw Longfei safe and sound, I was satisfied. Walk. Where are you going? Longfei pretended to be incomprehensible. Of course, I am leaving here. No matter who is left between us, the whole piece of Xianting will get rid of the power of time and space and reproduce the world. At the time, it is inevitable that there will be a big fight with Kang. Night Child said in a panic. Even she is ready. No matter who wins, she will give up resistance and choose to be perfect. However, the only condition is to keep the dragon flying. Looking at the knights flustered, Longfei felt a little funny. But at the same time, it was a little touched. If it is not for yourself, I am afraid that this woman has become the nourishment of other people's strength. But until now, I am still thinking about myself. How can I not dare to move? One thought about this, Longfei said. You can rest assured, I said, this time you are left, it must be you. Longfei said. There is great confidence in words. But at this time, I am fascinated by the night, and I am a smirk. Just by you? Longfei, you too take yourself seriously. I am fascinated by the night. Yes, although I don't know how you can get rid of that means, come back. But, do you really think that you can change anything? That adult has already said that we are returning, is the wife of his son. Do you think that you rely on you, and dare to touch? I am a sneer at the night. And Longfei was a glimpse, and immediately laughed. What are you laughing at? I sighed and asked me. I laughed at you, what you think is really beautiful. So I want to be a woman of lousy. Sorry, I don't want to. The woman of lousy, it is enough for her, so you are still self-destructive. Longfei reached out and said that the good night of me was in her arms, full of arrogant tone. Chapter 4561. Chapter 4561. In the arms of Longfei, you are constantly breaking free, but it does not help. In the eyes of the extremely overbearing Longfei, my heart is full of unwillingness. Dragon, you are letting go, the more time you delay, the less you will be. Hurry and leave. This is my fate. If you have never met me in the future, it will be good for 96. Good night, my child said. The eyes are full of disappointment. But not to be reluctant, but also with a decisive. It seems that it has already made up its mind. Longfei looked at the face of a dignified knight, and there was some touch in his heart. From the beginning, between him and the knight, it was just a deal. Later, when the night child took out his own bones and helped him, Longfei's heart had already regarded the night child as his own woman. Unexpectedly, the night child is still looking forward to thinking for himself. However, this consideration is too redundant. Stupid woman. Longfei's hand was slightly forced and held in his arms. With me for so long, you still don't know me. As long as I want to do something, can't I do it? And, this time, it is not a problem at all. You were originally a wife who prepared for me. Who do I want to stay? Of course, I must follow my own wishes. Longfei said seriously. But at this time, the other two people are not happy. You fart. What a big word, who do you think you are? Would you not be able to help you? The big deal, we will suspend the battle and destroy you first. A black mist was rushing from the body, and the whole body was wrapped in a moment, full of evil. This is a great saying. This is not a matter of separation. It is very difficult for us to decide the affiliation. We simply joined forces to destroy him. I personally analyzed the fascination of the night, and also agreed with the view that I am ignorant. Said lightly. No. If you dare to shoot the dragon, I swear, even if the jade is burned, all this power will be annihilated and will not be left to you. At this time, Longfei is in the middle of the arms. For the first time, the whole body rushed out of endless warfare. It can be seen that the importance of Longfei in its mind. Can Longfei, but it is a sneer that does not agree with it, patted the shoulders of my good knight, and said, Don't worry, they don't dare to shoot, and they don't have the qualification to fight. Longfei said. The eyes slammed into the void and gently opened. You said, isn't it? And with the sound of Longfei falling, outside the void, there was a shock fluctuation, and then the void split, and a figure faded out. Of course, whoever you want to stay, you can leave. As for the 2 or 2, it is good to erase it directly. After all, one that is truly returned is enough. The aunt said. But the eyes are always fixed on Longfei. The eyes are also filled with pets. The words of the aunts are like a time bomb and explode directly. No, adults, you said that we will make our own choices. Yeah, adults, you have laid out hundreds of thousands of years. Isn't you trying to get rid of Kang and get the secrets that Kang has control? If you leave this person as the leader, all your layout will be put to the east. I am very busy and said. The breath of the body also became a mess in this moment. Even she is extremely rational. At the moment, there was also a panic. Yeah, how can you do this? We follow the plan and reinvent the wheel. I am ruining the 2 worlds, falling into the dark and evil, refining the infinite magic to become oneself, for today. Which sentence is used to directly deny us? Evil, my night child is even more angry. The whole body is full of magic, and the eyes are also scarlet in this moment. Let's go. If it weren't for me, you would have vanished. Let you rebuild the 3rd world, you can say that you have already sent you tens of thousands of years of life. Don't be grateful, now dare to ask me? The voice of the aunt was cold and ruthless. With the eyes of Longfei, it is just 2 people. But, why? I sighed and said, my eyes were full of resentment. This road of reincarnation is something you have long been, you should be the most clear. I am the most suitable person to return, only me can help you complete your layout. Only me can break the plot of Kang, clean up the old mountains and rivers, and reorganize the world of the fairy. Only me can be worthy of your son. I am almost snarling. Even if it is the self, to eliminate the desire, only to stay rational, at this time facing the choice of the aids, but also lost the scale, almost crazy. It's a good thing, your means is strong, construct a reincarnation channel, let us return to repair. But, it's too unfair. How much hardship I have endured for this day, why do you have a word? But in the end, you have to spend the rest of your life and let this kind of goodness become the last person to return. Question. It can be said that because of the words of the aunt, the situation in the field directly reached the edge of the explosion. It is much more terrible than the self-determination between the 3. The sorrowful look is still very calm, it seems to have experienced too much, for this little thing has not been on the mind. At this time, the face of the curtain was calm and step by step to Longfei. Finally, stand with Longfei and turn to look at 2 people. In my plan, you have always been a supporting role. Only he is the key to this time. With you, even if you really come back, it is definitely not an opponent of Kang. Unless, in my plan, Kang has never been the ultimate goal, but it is a stepping stone for my son. As for what you said, it's even simpler. The curtains turned a little, and the hand touched, and the halo directly pointed to Longfei. Just rely on him, it is my son, the aunt said firmly. At this moment, Longfei felt incomparably warm, like a prodigal son found a harbor. Looking at the curtains in front of him, Longfei's heart gave birth to unlimited protection. Mother, don't worry, I won't let you down anyway. No matter who the enemy is, I will definitely come to the end. No matter who you are, you can't hurt you anymore. Longfei told me with confidence. At this time, whether it is the self, the evil, or the goodness of the dragon in the arms of the dragon, are shocked. They never think of it. Longfei turned out to be the most important part of this series of projects that lasted for hundreds of thousands of years. Ha ha ha, it turns out that it is. But, are you really willing to put your hopes in your son's hands? Just rely on his existence to be true? I asked him at night. Yes, he is my son. So, what he wants to do will never fail. The aunt said firmly. Chapter 4562. Chapter 4562. The aunt said firmly, and there was a sound. This is extremely useful in the long fire. Between the faint, it seems that everything I have done has been recognized, so that Long Fei feels an inexplicable satisfaction. It's like when I was young, I was desperate to do something, and then my parents would marvel at it. Now, Long Fei is the feeling. If you let Long Fei's current enemy know that Long Fei will have such a heartfelt words, he will laugh at the big teeth. But this is Long Fei. I am arrogant, but that is against the enemy. Naturally, I have a warm and long-term mind to treat my brothers and relatives. Ha ha ha, that's ridiculous. I think that you use this space-time power layout, and it's a great deal. It seems to be, but it is. I am sorrowful and sorrowful. Facing the strength of the aids, it is hard to accept. As for the evil, my knight is charming. At this time my eyes have long been enchanted by the magic, no anger and killing, bursting out on his body, targeting Long Fei. Adult, I am not convinced. If only because he is your son, you can deny us because of his will, I am not willing. The evil knight said. I don't want to be unwilling to do it. Without me, are you not even qualified to stand here? The road to reincarnation is open to me. Your source of power is also my dust. Who do I want to give, who will I give it? Want to blame, you blame you for not having the skills, not getting the favor of my son. The curtain said coldly. But when this statement comes out, it is Long Fei. They are also very wrong. I did not expect that I would be like a dreamy, powerful mother who would say such a logical logic. How to look like an unscrupulous ancestor, in the choice of wife and wife. Take it with you. Cannot see the direct kill. Simple and direct, purely overbearing. However, it also made Long Fei feel a kind of deep love. Despite the overbearing, there is even a bit of compensation for the taste word. However, Long Fei is also the first experience. Whether it is the past life or this world, it is the first time to feel the weight of maternal love. Long Fei enjoys this feeling. But now people are so disregarded, and my heart is naturally unhappy. Mother, give it to me. I don't accept it, don't hesitate. Then hit her clothes. Long Fei said. The first time I saw my mother, I haven't had time to show my performance, and it's worthless to be degraded by people. In this case, Long Fei can bear it. Non-existent. Long Fei's voice just fell, and several people in the field changed. No, Long Fei, their cultivation has already been on the basis of the truth, and has absorbed the power of the Qinglian. With the cultivation of the past life, you are not an opponent. Good, my son, Maisie, quickly stopped. I don't want to fly with them at all. Reassure, since this is my business, how can I worry about my mother? I want to leave you, naturally I will use my way. The two of them are dead, and the only thing left is you. It's that simple. Long Fei said. In itself, this is his choice. Although I was able to meet my mother this time, I was so excited in Long Fei's heart. But at this time, Long Fei still decided to return to the will of self. Moreover, in front of the aides, Long Fei thinks that among his mother, he is very strong now. It is enough to protect them. At this time, the expression of the curtain is also certain, and the eyes look at the dragon fly silently. The mother and the child are connected to each other. When Long Fei opens, she has already guessed what Long Fei thinks. Okay, then use your way to solve it. The aunt took a step back, and at the same time, the power of the hand moved, and the light of time and space would cover the night of my good night. Long Fei's eyes are also a move at this time, directly locking the enchantment of my night and the evil. Let's come together. Long Fei spoke. At the same time, the second-class body of the body directly swells throughout the body. A smashing weather is on the body, but it rises. The power of violent converges slowly between his hands. On the other hand, I am a child of night and my evil, I am also a look at each other. Looking for death. Evil, my night, my body is shaking, hovering above the void. Infinite magic is rolling, sweeping. Dragon, you are too mad. Even if you are the son of an adult, you can't change my determination to return. So today, you will die. I am fascinated by the night, but the will is very firm. Long Fei slightly dagger, don't think so, or when I kill you, do you have to think about you as a woman's body? Long Fei said faintly, followed by a cold eyes. Create a punch. With a big drink, Longfei banged out. Boom. Fierce fists swept out. The ID and me, the figure of the two, instantly exploded, obviously did not expect that Longfei can burst out of this power. At the moment when Longfei's power blasted, it was avoided directly. I don't dare to touch it. Boom. A violent punch, directly exploding the void. Even at this time, Xianting was outside the time and space, and it was still shattered by Longfei. The entire space was also shaken by the dragon and swayed. Unfortunately, both of them avoided it. How can you have such power? I am amazed at the knight. Is this your reliance? It turns out that your strongest is not repairing, but the flesh. I am also very cold and chilly in the night. Looking at Longfei, the voice is indifferent. Oh, my strength. You don't understand at all. If you get the ultimate strength, killing you may cost some peace of mind. But now, you guys, I still can't use my strongest power. Longfei mouth sneered, scornfully said. Immediately, the dragon's hands flashed, and the white bones and swords appeared in the hands. The dragon flies in the cold and the sword is facing the evil body. Evil is my body, this is endless evil. Before the disintegration, the nightmare's evil thoughts were just opposite to the demon's sword. At this time, just at the moment when the dragon flew out of the sword, the momentum of the body was increased by several times in an instant. Like the king in the dark, I was heavenless, and I sighed and scorned the atmosphere of the heavens and earth. Not only that, but even the sword, the position of the hilt, is in this moment, breeding two fangs. Out of the sword, all this is naturally beyond the perception of Longfei. The power to win the hook has come out. This time, see how you live. Longfei's heart was cold, and the light of the night locked the night of my body. Cool. The sword is soaring and unstoppable. There is also a figure that directly floats into the void, and the hands are pressed, directly tearing the endless magic of the night before my night. As if to open the way for the demon's sword. Do not. At this moment, the evil sorrow of my night is a scream. Chapter 4563. Chapter 4563. A scream. Full of endless panic. The evil pupils of my nightmare are scattered, staring at the shadows above the void, and giving birth to an instinctive fear. No, it is impossible. What strength is this? I am guilty of sin, and all the power of evil is like nothing in front of me, but 9 and 6 evils, my nightmare, looked incredibly in the void, and the whole body was shaking. The sword of Longfei is completely aimed at rolling. Her magic was torn apart in a flash. As if in front of this shadow, her so-called evil, the so-called magic, is a joke. Not only her, but I am looking at the sword that Longfei has pulled out at this moment, and my eyes are constantly flashing, as if using the ultimate calmness to analyze the power of Longfei. Longfei, at this time, was laughing in the heart. I rub, some fierce is not like it. Is it so powerful to win the hook? Isn't that legendary myth on Earth? No, you must go to the Earth, you must go to search for a chance. Longfei thought of it. The heartbeat is accelerating. This is just a powerful force to win the hook. If you really win the hook here, if you are hooked your fingers, you will be able to destroy this world. It's simply not like it. At this time, the scorpion sword is also constantly advancing, and under the guise of winning the virtual shadow, it is completely ambiguous. All the power of the so-called evil suddenly disappeared. It's not enough to see the power of winning the hook. Moreover, Longfei is not before, and has now been upgraded. At this level, every level of promotion is a qualitative leap. The same means, the same power cannot be the same. Just like now, Longfei has a sword, and GM is a sword, but the power is several times stronger than before. As for Fei Fei's own feelings, if you use the power of the scorpion sword now, it's not a big deal to kill the East King. At this time, the evil my night child has changed her look. Before the dragon flew, she didn't dare to pick it up. Now facing the embarrassing sword that broke the power of winning the hook, it is simply unable to clean up. Brush. The shadow of the winning hook dissipated and reintegrated into the scorpion sword, which caused the breath of the whole scorpion sword to increase sharply, and then the light flashed and instantly broke through the void. "Hey, evil," my night child turned and wanted to go. But it is already late. Just as she turned around, the sorcerer's sword directly penetrated her chest. "Ah!" I am screaming at the night, and my expression is extremely embarrassing. The magic of the whole body, the power of evil, with this sword, began to scatter, and was swallowed up by the demon's sword. This scene let Longfei also surprised. Devouring? Can the magic sword still swallow? System, what's going on? Before this, the demon's sword did not have this attribute, and the system did not prompt. Is it because the power of winning the hook has changed? Longfei guessed. Hey, the sorcerer's sword combines to win the hook and fangs, which can swallow the evil power between heaven and earth and become an upgradable artifact. But the player will lose the power to win the game. Please ask the player to choose whether to give up the strength of winning the hook. At this time, the sound of the system suddenly appeared. Longfei had a meal and understood it. The change of this magic sword is really because of the power of winning the hook. However, after all, the power to win the hook has been refining itself. So, the current prompt will appear in the system. Either give up the power of winning the hook, inject this power into the sword, and make the sword become a growthable artifact. Either continue to save this power in the body, every time you perform, every call. For a moment, Longfei hesitated slightly. After all, the strength of the winning hook is not weak, making the strength of the physical body more than a little bit. Mom, the sword is too strong, and if it can be upgraded, it will work better than I have the power to win. In addition, my strength is fundamental, and there is no harm in the power to win and win. Longfei thought of it and then said directly, "Give up, merge into the sword." Hey, congratulations to the players, the fusion of the magic sword is completed, the current level, the demon level, repaired under the player, directly spike, not higher than the player's 10 level range, can be a chance to kill, and swallow the opponent's strength upgrade. The system will prompt you. In the eyes of Longfei, he looked at the scorpion sword in his hand and felt the change of his breath. His heart shook. Low version of the gods of the gods. No, the gods are the system of killing skills, but this sword is a god. Is the weapon of the slaying property still growable? System, do you want to be so abnormal? Longfei was excited. The secret channel, this is the biggest gain of this time entering this Tongxian road. At this time, as the scorpion sword continues to swallow, the whole body of my evil knight is gradually becoming illusory. Rolling the magic gas is all swallowed by the demon sword. And Longfei is through the system, seeing the experience of the scorpion sword in the crazy soaring. In the blink of an eye, it directly breaks through the previous level. Then continue. Devil level 2, demon level 3. Until the evil powers of my nightmare were all swallowed up, all the evil powers disappeared, and the experience strips slowly stopped growing. At this time, it is already the late stage of the 3rd level of the demon, and it will be able to upgrade again with a little energy. At this time, with the vitality of the scorpion sword, various attributes are also greatly changed. Description: the level is higher than the player's 5 levels, direct spike, there is a probability spike in the 10 level range. The eyes of Longfei flickered and saw this description. Even if he is also very excited. Too strong. Within 5 ranks, direct spike. In other words, according to Longfei's current cultivation, even in the Wanjie, the godsend can be directly killed. Haha, respect, and Shentian, wait for Lousy to go back, and a sword bursts with you. Longfei thought that the more he wanted, the more excited he was. Then, the sword in his hand trembled. What? I am stunned by the night, and finally screamed, and I was swallowed up by the scorpion sword, and began to turn into a little bit of ash, and the smoke disappeared. The next moment, Longfei looked around and saw the body of me. Now, it's up to you. When the voice falls, Longfei has no interval, and the backhand is a slap. However, what surprised him was that I was fascinated by the golden light in the pupil of the night, and then Xuanji avoided this sword. Longfei's eyes must be clear, and the light in the middle of the sky is good analytical skills. Longfei exclaimed. Dragon, your means, I don't know. When I was looking for you in the goodness of me, I started to analyze everything about you. Your means, you want to deal with me, it is not enough. If the sword just happened, you came to deal with me, I may not respond. But now, this sword is useless to me. I am very charming and confident. Chapter 4564. Chapter 4564. That kind of gesture, as if to eat a dragonfly. On the other hand, Longfei's heart is also amazed. This kind of computing power is called the sky. Just watching yourself out of a sword, you can figure out your own power trajectory and avoid it. This point is that Longfei can't do it. I don't know if the computing power of the avatar is better than her. Who is stronger? Longfei thought of his own avatar. His avatar is also the ultimate self-state. No emotions. There is no pursuit. The only goal is cultivation. Of course, the more important goal is naturally to find Longfei. In the eyes of Longfei, I looked at the night of my own, and my eyes became a little dignified. I have to say that dealing with such pure reason, only knowing the existence of cultivation, is a little hard. More importantly, say, mind. In this world, she leaned directly into the body of the good knight, not only for the power of the knight, but also for the use of the knight, and through the eyes of the knight, to see more power. This is the real horror. Ha ha ha, dragonfly, useless. When you meet me and be kind, I will pay attention to you. I have analyzed it whether it is your fist or your knife. Your strength has been controlled by me and I can't hurt me. I am laughing at the knight, watching Longfei, among the golden pupils, faintly revealing a feeling of winning. Extremely calm. Longfei's eyes are awkward. Do you think I will eat me? Longfei asked coldly. The breath of the whole body began to frantically surging at this time, and it actually climbed abruptly. Even the scorpions have become very cold. He can't lose. Especially now, in front of his mother, he can't be defeated. At this time, my fascinating face is also a change, instinct. With the change of the body of Longfei, a fatal sense of crisis came directly. Just like a wild beast, you can swallow yourself in an instant. Even the curtains above the void are good, my knight, my face is a change, and I am shocked by the breath of Longfei. This kind of breath. Isn't Fea already controlling that kind of power? The curtain was shocked. Feel the violent breath exposed by Longfei, and the eyes are different. The dragon is more powerful, and as the mother of Longfei, the more naturally she is happy. On the other hand, I am fascinated by the knight. The golden scorpion is also a fast turn at this time, staring at Longfei. Tongxian rules? What did you do? I am fascinated by the knight, and the light is shining. Even if he is only in extreme rationality, he also shows a bit of fear. Without it, because this power is enough to kill her. And Longfei, the corner of his mouth is a sneer. Install? Are you not calculating the truth? Then you have counted. Lao Tzu has killed the original 4 courts of Xianting. If you have absorbed the power of Xianting, this power will not destroy you. But unfortunately, you don't have this opportunity now. Said coldly. There are 4 forces directly in the hands of Longfei. The power of the earth, the prince of the sky, the moon, and the stars. The power of 4 different attributes jumps in the palm of Longfei. I am fascinated by the knight, and the whole person has been completely panicked by the moment of seeing these 4 forces. The golden pupil is also constantly changing, as if it is a fire, the gloss is constantly changing, and the horror is incomparable. No, this is impossible. How does the 4 royals exist? You can't just return to the realm. How can you marry them? This is absolutely impossible. I am amazed at the knight, my body is already shaking. With pure power, he can calculate the trajectory and evade. However, how does the power of this rule operate? As Longfei said, if he got the power of Xianting, he would return to the identity of the Lord of Xianting, not to mention the power of the 4 royals, that is, the power of the entire Tongxian continent could not help him. But now, she has nothing but the 3 corpses of the military, the power of the practice of the world, no matter how powerful, and cannot stop this violent rule. And Longfei, at this time is no longer to say a word, double fists and a grip. Wanli Mountain River Festival. The endless sky collapses. Sun and moon Yaoyu. Xinghe town is endless. Give me death. Longfei shouted. The four forces in the hand are directly integrated into one punch. This punch is also the first time that Longfei has performed. But the violent power has reached an indescribable extent. It is the rule of the four kings that can't do this. However, dragon flying is different. He has the system, and the power that comes out is directly available to him. You don't have to work hard to understand, you don't have to enlighten. Moreover, it is the top state. Rumble. Rumble. For a moment, Longfei, a punch that combines the powers of the four laws, goes straight out. The body of my enchanting body was also instantly submerged. Do not. The sound of my knight's screaming screams broke out from it. But it was useless. At this time, under the fist of Longfei, she did not even have the qualification to break free. She was directly bound by four violent rules, and then she was smashed by Longfei. No longer exists. In a blink of an eye, Longfei gently regained his strength and looked as if he had never done anything. However, there are still some pity in my heart. After all, whether it is the night of my temperament or evil, it is a good existence. It's just that nothing has burst out to make Longfei feel incomparable. At this time, above the void, the singer and the good boy, the nightmare figure also fell. Feia, I don't think you are so strong now, said the aunt, and did not hide the surprise in his eyes. That is, no one is who the sun is. Longfei said with a laugh. After that, Longfei's eyes turned and looked at me. Now, no one has robbed you, and reinforces this power. Husband, I am waiting for you now, don't forget, you are my mother's daughter-in-law. Ha ha ha, Longfei said. Also, my strength is not much. If it is not long, Xianting will return to the spacetime track. There will be a fierce battle between the time and the world. You will refine this power first, and you will have one more guarantee. The aunt said, and then looked at Longfei, flying, you come with me, I still have some things to explain. Said, the curtain of the hand above the palm of the hand, once again tearing open the void. Longfei's face was condensed. Knowing that the mother let him leave at this time, there must be an extremely important matter to explain, and he did not hesitate to step into it. After the two left, the night child was charming, looking at the three sacred Qinglian in the center of Xianting, the eyes were extremely firm. Then the hands were lifted and the three green lotuses were directly combined into one. Instantly turned into 24 products. Chapter 4565. Chapter 4565. Beyond time and space, the light is in the glass. The figure of the aunt has become more and more illusory, and it is clearly close at hand, but it is out of reach. Longfei's heart was so sweet that he knew that his mother's strength was about to run out. When the power is exhausted, the mother will disappear. This point, Longfei knows well, so for a while, Juliu is also a little sad. Feia, this time, the difference is for a better encounter. On this day, my mother had expected it. All this is paving the way for you. However, you have grown up and have exceeded your mother's expectations too much. The aunt said softly. In the muzzle, I am proud. I know, I always know. Longfei whispered. This world, even without parents. Longfei also knows that parents have been paving the way for themselves. For this, Longfei has always been clear. If it is not for your own parents to work quietly behind them, if they have a system, this road is not necessarily able to go to the present. Especially his father, who once traded with death, saved him from a hard time. Otherwise, don't say that it is now the sky and the sky. I am afraid that it has already died. The more so, the more dragons can understand the hardships of their parents. However, it is not enough. Feia, even if you are strong enough now, but in the face of the strength of the unknown, it is not enough. Mu Yue said, the eyes are melancholy, it seems to be hidden in the heart of the stone, still dull. At this moment, Longfei gave birth to an impulse to reach out and want to hold his mother in his arms and tell his mother that everything was left to himself. But when it comes to the mouth, Longfei has swallowed. After all, the mother's power to control time and space, this tyrannical means, can only be hidden in the dark to pave the way for themselves. Then how powerful the enemy behind this can be imagined. Suddenly, Longfei's light was moving and he looked at Mu Yu's children. Yes, mother, this time power is mysterious. You can jump freely? Is there any power limitation? Longfei asked. But it is only tentative. What he really wants to know is whether his mother is also the system owner. However, the existence of the system is too special. I didn't want to say too much before Longfei didn't completely solve Dragon's Day. Otherwise, it is just annoying, letting parents worry about themselves. There are of course restrictions. What you want to ask is what I left for you in the past, said the aunt. Longfei nodded. After all, the means of summoning the goddess left by her mother in the past was too special, and let Longfei once suspect that her system was implanted by her mother. Now I have seen the way the mother is free to provoke the empty layout, and let this guess go further. Actually, I know that you have a very special strength, just that kind of power, I can't touch it. As for the power that I left for you, it is also related to the Promised Temple. And Longfei is also a glimpse. The Promised Temple? Longfei's heart is uncertain. He already knows that the power of this system comes from the Supreme Plane. Is there any power that exists that can affect the Supreme Plane? Affect the system? Longfei's heart was horrified. I thought that my current cultivation is capable of traversing the heavens, thinking that when I solve the problems of the heavens and the world, and solve the things of respect and the things of the dragon heaven, I will enter the Supreme. Since then, happy and happy. But now it seems that I still take it for granted. Yes, the Promised Temple is too strong. Over the years, the mother has been looking for what is there, and that kind of secret power is embedded in your body. It's a pity that the power is not something that the mother's cultivation can touch. Even if I am fortunate enough to get a gift from the ancient world, I have gotten some chance to become a traveler of time and space, and I can freely travel through time and space to some extent. But whether it is the Promised Temple or the mysterious plane, is not something I can touch. The aunt said. There was a trace of despair in his eyes. It seems that, as a mother, I have not been able to solve problems for Longfei, and let her heart blame herself. Don't worry about my mother, everything has me. No matter how mysterious they are, one day, I will untie all their veil and squat down from the altar, Longfei said. This is not just comfort. Rather, Longfei has this plan. The Supreme Plane is flying to the dragon. And my mother, since she can leave some kind of power from the relationship of the promise, can even be used by the system. That shows that the Promised Temple is naturally associated with the Supreme. Niang Niang believes in you. But now, Feiya, this road to the world of fairy tales, you must go on. The mother of the world is not known, but it should also be related to a distant planet beyond the numerous galaxies in the universe. But the power of the world is extremely powerful. If you can control it, there will be great benefits for the future, said the aunt. Mother was also using the power of time and space travelers. I knew this place before I started to lay out, for today. Just all this, you have to do it yourself. The aunt said. Mother and heart assured, this world can't stop my footsteps, whether it is Kang or what ***** days, if it is blocking me, it will be destroyed. Longfei said, very confident. Moreover, there is no hesitation in the slightest. Because this is the goal of Longfei to enter the world. And now it is in the third stage, to Kang. Now, according to his mother, Longfei naturally guessed. The next step in the system task should be to destroy the number of days. The aunt smiled softly, his eyes filled with kindness, and said, Mother naturally believes in you, my son, naturally is the best. But after I finished speaking, my eyes turned into disappointment. Children, the power of the mother has been exhausted. Mother is waiting for you in the ancient world. When our family is reunited, no one can take us apart. At the time, the mother will give you a surprise. The curtain said, the voice just fell, the figure began to gradually dissipate, and this moment, Longfei's figure has also been a repulsive force, launching time and space channels. Boom! In the next moment, the void splits, the power of time and space disappears, and the figure of Longfei returns to Xianting. However, just in the moment of coming down, Longfei's eyes are also changing instantly. The power of time and space has disappeared. So, is Xianting already returning to the original track? Longfei's heart is dark. Immediately, his eyes turned and looked at the Knight of the Refining Power, and he held a fist, reassured, there is a husband, even if it is gone, it will not interfere with you. Chapter 4566. Chapter 4566. At this time, the Night Child has reached a critical period. 24 products made Qinglian, which is constantly being integrated into his body. At this time, the Night Child is charming, and a piece of crystal jade is shining with endless light, constantly drawing on the power of creation, and then spreading to the whole body of the night. And the atmosphere of the Night Child is also very powerful. Almost visible to the naked eye, constantly rising. The repair has been completely beyond the true degree. As for the extent to which it belongs, Longfei cannot be defined. But as far as the atmosphere is concerned, it is quite the same as the previous East King. Even more powerful. However, the difference is that at this time, there is still a lot of power in the development of Qinglian, which is extremely powerful. This is the real place of terror. Therefore, Longfei will never bother people. At this time, in the void, Kang's figure suddenly slammed between them and then turned back. There was a scene, and Xianting finally appeared again. Kang's face suddenly changed, and in the middle of a haze, there was a bit of excitement. Sure enough, ha ha ha, I know, that kid is not simple. Since you can stay outside the number of days and become a variable, it really has something to do with you. But since it has appeared, then everything will come to an end. Said with a deep voice. The murder is looming in the eyes, and the haze is incomparable. It seems as if everything is to be erased. Even the void around me has become extremely heavy at this moment. At the next moment, the gaze turned and looked directly at the boundless universe, and then pulled the hands and pulled the sky directly. Just like tearing a piece of paper, understate it. Brush it. Then, the three figures came straight down. It is Chu Shanhai and others. At this time, Chu Shanhai, three people all over the body are filled with an unspeakable breath. It seems to have been reborn, a tyrannical batch. If Longfei is here, it will be a big surprise. Because at this time, the three people in Chu Shanhai are completely different. Do not whisper in the same day. This change is not simply a change. It is the breath. At this time, the three of them had a feeling of emptiness. It seems to have been above the entire mainland. I have seen adults. The three men stumbled directly. Very good, it looks like you three have refining the power of the year. In this case, the kid has some rebelliousness in the past and handed it over to you. Destroy them, I will give you a chance to control this world. Kang Shen said. Suddenly, Chu Shanhai's eyes were all shocked and colorful. Adults are assured that it is easy to kill them with the power we control now. No matter who they are, disobeying adults is acting against the sky. They will die. The three people in Chu Shanhai said that the killing in the eyes continued. What's more, they have already hated Dragonfly for a long time. Now, they have got the power to overtake the world. The first thought is of course to seek revenge for Longfei. Only when the dragon is pressed to the ground, the shackles can only eliminate their hearts and hate. Now, their cultivation has increased dramatically, and now they have been ordered by Kang. I can't wait in my heart. I can't wait to appear in front of Longfei and pinch the dragon to death. Kang nodded slightly. You are the dark chess that I have laid down in the mainland of the immortals. It is the concentrated force of the most powerful forces in the mainland. It is to let you inherit the strongest forces of Xianting in the past. Now is the time for you to show your strength. I want them to know that this is all within my control. Rebellion is a struggle. The number of days is the only one that is eternal. The sky said, his eyes were cloudy. Immediately, with a wave of his hands, an illusory road directly penetrates the void. Go! A faint word. In the eyes of Chu Shanhai and others, the light flashed, and there was no longer any hesitation in the end. In a deep jump, the blink of an eye disappeared into the void. At this time, in the fairy court, the figure of Longfei has also come out of Xianting. The white deer, Longfei, Jianma, and Tianzhu came directly to Longfei. "Boss, is things done?" asked White Deer. There are still some concerns in the eyes. After all, he is the guardian of the tomb. The existence of the accompanying has always been to protect the Night of the Child, for the Night of the Child to open a smooth road and thrown out the cannon fodder. Therefore, guarding the Night Child can be said to be his mission. Now, for Longfei, it can be said that it has already abandoned its creed. "Hey, you are a white-eyed wolf. When the Master created you, it was to protect you. I can't think of it now. For a dispensable person, let the Master's plan be left alone. As for success, it is impossible. The Master has no choice but to fail. When the owner returns, you have a good look," Tianzhu said with no scruples, a look of disgust. Looking at Longfei, it is a hatred. And Longfei, the corner of the mouth moved, a smile of evil charm emerged, and then, a handful of probes, directly pinched the neck of Tianzhu, a sneak in the air. "Noisy, believe it or not, lousy woman came out, directly to you stew already?" Scorpio screamed and immediately roared, "Impossible, kid, you are lying. You can't succeed." Scorpio reacted violently and could not believe that Longfei could succeed. I don't want Longfei to succeed at all. Now, he and Longfei have not dealt with it. How do you see how Longfei is not pleasing to the eye? If Longfei is really successful, then if his own master returns, can he still have a good day? Just think about it, the Scorpio is absolutely terrifying. Therefore, at this time, it is more violently struggling. At this time, Longfei directly dropped the Scorpio to the side. "But now, I have no time to take care of you. The power to guard this place has disappeared, and Xianting has been completely exposed. It will take a long time for Kang to come." Longfei's face is solemn and his eyes are looking at the void. He has already, and a force in the midst of it is already locked in this place. When the voice falls, the face of White Deer and others will change. It's Tianzhu, and it's getting very nervous at this time. Obviously, the existence of Kang has left a lot of shadow in his heart. "Boss, you are not serious. Now the Lord of Xianting has not returned. If it is gone, I am afraid we can't resist it," said the White Deer. Longfei is a smile. "Can't resist. There is me there, it doesn't exist. No matter what he is, he has only one result, and that is death. No one can count the lousy and the attention of the lousy woman. It can be safe and sound. Don't say that he is just me alone. Even if it is a number of days, Lousy will have to reverse his life and regain his strength." Longfei's body was shocked and firmly said. The White Deer frowned slightly, just wanted to persuade Longfei, but was interrupted by a roaring sound. "Ha ha ha, a big tone, Longfei, you are a hybrid, I really don't know how high and thick, today is the death." The emptiness of the void broke out. Chushanhai 3 people, crossed. You're tuning in to the Celestial War YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.